the strongest internet cafe in Marvel. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 026. Scarman gritted his teeth one last time. Keep up. I don't know what gifts he went out to prepare for me. Mariah, who had nothing to do in the internet cafe, was a little happy to think that Soo-Yang personally went out to prepare gifts for her. Host, I have a question. The system actually took the initiative to talk to Soo-Yang. Soo-Yang asked, a little surprised. What problem? Didn't you say that Mariah approached you for some purpose? Why would you still give her a gift? The system said it didn't understand. You don't know about human beings. Soo-Yang continued. Do you know what people rely on in this society if they want to live? I don't know. The system replied. Acting. It depends on acting. Soo-Yang continued. Didn't you just let me get a true eye? I don't know what to do with it. Soo-Yang looked at the few people who followed behind and said, isn't this a useful platoon? We can't always be passive. Besides, I've always been curious about the structure of S.H.I.E.L.D. Soo-Yang looked at the internet cafe that was about to arrive and stopped waiting for the people behind. Come. Soo-Yang waved his hand at the Scarman and said, give me the youth. Soo-Yang took the unconscious youth in Scarman's hand and then said to the system, I can put my true eyes on his body. Yes. By the way, can anyone else see this thing? Soo-Yang suddenly remembered this question. If he could see it, then it would be meaningless. You can see it, but I can change its form, for example, to a mark on his body. The system gives a solution. Birthmark version of real eyes. Soo-Yang said speechlessly, you can solve this solution, then come. As soon as the words fell, Soo-Yang found that the true eye on his item panel had disappeared. Was it successful? Soo-Yang asked. It worked. I've got it on him. Where did you get it? Soo-Yang was a little curious. However, the system did not answer him, and Soo-Yang, who did not get an answer from the system, gave up continuing to ask, but walked into the internet cafe. Do you like this gift? Soo-Yang looked at Mariah with a smile on his face and said, who is this? Mariah looked at the person in Soo-Yang's hand and said that she didn't know. It doesn't matter. If you don't know this, you will definitely know this later. Soo-Yang turned sideways and let the two people behind him with the corpse of the Red Skull enter the internet cafe. Red Skull? How could Mariah, as the second in command of S.H.I.E.L.D., not know the Scarman who was carrying them on their backs? Mariah immediately took out her own gun and asked, what's going on? Don't get excited. This person is dead. Just a corpse. Soo-Yang waved his hand again and again to let Mariah not be so excited, and even he slapped the Red Skull's head hard and said, look, is it okay? It's okay if I hit him like this. Mariah slowly walked to the side of the Scarman suspiciously, reached out and probed the mouth and nose of the Red Skull, and indeed felt that there was no breathing. However, she had just experienced the scene where Soo-Yang was not breathing, so she still took out the handcuffs and handcuffed the Red Skull very carefully. The Scarman saw that Mariah's handcuffs were taken out and quickly wanted to retreat, but if he was already close to Mariah and could let him run away, Mariah could go back and retrain again. What a situation! Scarman exclaimed. Scar was so scared that he turned around and wanted to escape the internet cafe. He didn't want to be caught, because being caught as a member of Hydra would not end well, although it was only a super peripheral kind. Soo-Yang snorted lightly and then glanced at the Scarman indifferently. The Scarman who had just arrived at the door heard Soo-Yang's voice and then looked at the gate near Kai and looked back at Soo-Yang's indifferent eyes. From Soo-Yang's eyes, it was obvious that a message was that if he dared to take a step out of the internet cafe, then he would be dead. Who are they? Mariah originally thought that the two of them were Soo-Yang's people, but now this situation seems to be a little wrong. Oh, they should all be the skeleton-faced subordinates who were handcuffed by you. They just came to me to guard the protection fee, and then I sent them. Soo-Yang said nonchalantly. This skeleton still wants to kill me. I will defend myself. Accidentally shoot too hard. He will die. Soo-Yang continued. I shouldn't be fine. Collect protection fees? The corners of Mariah's mouth twitched a little, and she looked at the person she was handcuffing. This is the famous red skeleton. For her, she is a legendary villain, and now she is actually beaten to death by the owner of an internet cafe, because she collects protection fees, and if she lets others know, she may laugh her big teeth off. No, not only will you be fine, we will reward you. Mariah affirmed, point, just kidding. Don't say that Soo-Yang killed the villain of the Red Skull, just by virtue of the technology he now has in the internet cafe and the strength shown by Soo-Yang himself. As a last resort, S.H.I.E.L.D. very much did not want to turn Soo-Yang into an enemy. Oh, is there a reward? Soo-Yang was a little happy to hear that he deliberately let someone bring her back, and there was a reward. What reward? Well, I won't know this until I go back. After Mariah finished speaking, she looked at Soo-Yang's slightly disappointed face, and she suddenly took out a small thing from her bag. You take this first. This is given to me by the director, and it is useless for me to hold it at present. Soo-Yang looked at the small thing that Mariah threw him, and he found that it was actually an energy block. This energy block itself was what Nick asked Mariah to find an opportunity for Soo-Yang, because Nick thought that Soo-Yang had superb science and technology that could crack the secrets inside the energy block. Recently, their S.H.I.E.L.D. has made no progress in other aspects except for being able to extract a small part of the energy block, so Nick is eager to find a breakthrough here in Soo-Yang. Ding, find the energy block. Trigger special missions, find more energy blocks, and limited times. The system will give the host different rewards according to the amount of energy blocks that the host finds, and the amount of energy already contained in it. The moment Soo-Yang got the energy block, a series of system prompts sounded madly. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. P.S. Thank you PP123 for the reward. Thank you for the pure ticket. Ha. Yang Rui. Wang Shengai. 123,456. 5,407,592 monthly pass. Thank you for your support. And then no Unix. For more free Falu novels. https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 027. The moment Soo-Yang got the energy block, a series of system prompts sounded madly. Hey, it seems that you seem to be very hungry for this energy block. Soo-Yang lost the energy block in his hand and did not hurry to choose to submit it to the system. He had a little idea in his mind that he might be able to make a deal with the system through this energy block. However, Soo-Yang still looked like he didn't understand. What is this thing? Mariah said, this is what the director gave me. I don't know what it does. You can study it. Mariah also vaguely proposed to let Soo-Yang use his technique to study it. If you research it out for anything, remember to tell me. I'm curious. Mariah said with the last smile on her face. I'll take these people away. See you tomorrow, boss. At this time, there was already a sound of parking outside the door. Then several men in black entered, and it turned out that Mariah sent a message to the bureau the moment she saw the Red Skull. Scarman originally thought of waiting for Mariah to take them away from the internet cafe enough distance to find a way to escape, but now when he saw this situation, he knew that he couldn't escape, and he could only accept the reality with his head down. Wait until everyone has left. Soo-Yang sat on the bar and bargained with the system. Hey, does this energy block have a great effect on you? Of course, the fastest speed I can upgrade is to absorb pure energy. The system answered truthfully. Soo-Yang, who was originally quite calm, was not calm when he heard the next sentence of the system, and the whole person wanted to jump. Because what the system says is, this energy is much purer than the energy converted by absorbing money, and it is much more, and such a small energy block is already equivalent to the sum of the recently absorbed money. Where did you get the money? Soo-Yang grasped the most crucial point in the system's discourse. Of course it's the money you make, otherwise? Eileen. Soo-Yang opened the cash register for the first time and then found that the money cabinet that should have been very full inside only had a few banknotes in it. You absorbed all of your TM. Soo-Yang originally planned to go to the city to buy something or go out to play, but as soon as he looked at the money in his money cabinet, his illusions were shattered in an instant. How else do ITM go to the beach to see beautiful women? Su Yang said angrily. Why don't you tell me in advance and start absorbing you silently? As if Su Yang suddenly remembered something, he hurriedly put his hand into his pocket to look for the small energy block that Mariah had given him just now. Sure enough, Su Yang found that his pocket was empty, cleaner than his face. Eileen. Damn, if you don't give me an explanation today, then let's die together. Originally, Su Yang thought that he would be able to bargain with the system with this energy block. As a result, it is good now. Others don't need to deal with him at all, and they directly absorb the energy block without notifying him. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the special task, collecting energy blocks once. Depending on the number of energy blocks and the amount of energy contained therein, the reward host level is increased by 5 levels. Reward the host with a random lottery. Reward the host Internet Café for upgrading once. Reward the host with a special ability, escape technique. The system directly answered Su Yang's threat in the most direct way. Listening to a series of system prompts, Su Yang slowly calmed down his irritable mood. Do you still have a bit of a conscience? Escape technique? Su Yang felt that every time the system gave him the ability, it seemed that it would be able to come in handy next. Is it the escape technique in that fairy? Su Yang asked. Yes, but this is a strengthened version, and it is actually impossible to count it as a retreat technique, because even if it is iron underneath, you can escape into it. System production must be a boutique. What about the sea? Su Yang suddenly thought of this. No, it has to be solid. The system replies directly to, I thought I could go to heaven and earth, and into the sea, but now I can only go to heaven and earth. Su Yang said with a little dissatisfaction. Don't like it. I can take it back. Don't like it. How can you not like it? Su Yang quickly stopped complaining. By the way, does the system want more good things that allow you to absorb upgrades? Su Yang suddenly turned into a strange uncle lying to a child. Of course. Is there a way for the host? The system is interested in this question. Of course, but I need a little power. Su Yang put forward the request first. You already have a lot of power in the Internet Cafe. No. What I want is power in terms of gaming. Su Yang said. What kind of power? The system then says, if you want to break the rules of letting other people have the rights you have in the game, it's definitely not okay. Of course not. It's very comfortable to have privileges, but we can make them pay, and then I'll open up a little bit of convenience to them. Su Yang would not do such a stupid thing as letting others have the same rights as himself. Oh. Can you be specific? The system has now fully raised interest in this topic. For example, let them give us something good, and then we can give them a little convenience in the road to survival in the Grim Reaper game. Su Yang continued. For example, we can provide them with guns on the road to survive. This is not a violation, and we don't give guns directly, just brush them out in the map. I see they haven't seen a gun in so long, since they played the game, so you must have removed the gun from the original game. Su Yang recalled their recent game experience with Banner. Yes, if there are weapons, if their strength increases too quickly, if their real body is not strong enough, there may be problems. The system explains. But according to their current physical strength, it should be fine. Su Yang said. This request can be granted. The system thought about it and felt that Banner and they were basically familiar with the strength of the road to survive due to the recent strengthening of their bodies. So you agreed? Su Yang was a little excited when he thought that he could make a lot of money in the future. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. PS. Thank you PP123 for the reward. Thank you for the pure ticket. Ha. Yang Rui. Wang Shengai. 123,456. 5,407,592 monthly pass. Thank you for your support. And then no Unix. For more free Falu novels. https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 028. So you agreed? Su Yang was a little excited when he thought that he could make a lot of money in the future. Now that this side is done, how about we take a look at the movie? Su Yang said with a smile. System, how can I check the picture of the true eye? There's an eye-like thing under your character panel, and you can see it when you tap it. The system explains. Yes. Su Yang quickly brought up his character panel, and sure enough, he found an eye icon underneath. After Su Yang clicked on the icon, a small suspended light curtain appeared in front of him. And the picture that was being played inside the light curtain was the picture next to the young man where Su Yang placed his true eyes. At this time, the three of them were being heavily guarded in a convoy, and they seemed to be being escorted to a secret base. A suburb far from New York, with a small military base of the American military is located here. Deep inside the military base there is a secret research room. Is this something with powerful energy that hundreds of dead agents plundered? Nick asked coldly as he looked at the square-like thing in front of him. Yes, Chief, this is this thing. It contains something very powerful, the SHIELD agent said. Okay, I see, you go down. By the way, Dr. Eric? Nick asked after waving his hand. Drive Eric is intensifying his research in the research institute next to him. The agent said and left. Nick came to the nearby research institute and found Dr. Eric, who was studying the Rubik's Cube, and said, Doctor, how is your research progress? It's too difficult, the energy contained in it is too great, and we have not been able to detect the secrets inside. The doctor said with a shocked look. All the research we can do so far is just trying to make some similar energy blocks, based on the energy it contains, but the energy contained in it is too small to be compared with this, the doctor said with emotion. But he was still excited because he was already in a high position and he had not met anything that could make him so excited. By the way, didn't we give you a small sample? Still there? We wanted to do an experiment, the doctor said to Nick. No more. I gave Agent Mariah Hill. I gave her a mission to find a chance to give that energy block to someone special, Nick explained. What? Don't you know how much effort we put into making that energy block? The doctor was anxious when he heard that the energy block was gone. You said you want to take a sample for an experiment and then come back and give it to me. Why do you give it to others now? If you can make one, you can make the second one, and since you made it imitating the Rubik's Cube, then I want to give it to that person. He will definitely be able to research something. Nick still believes in Su Yang's science and technology. But what he didn't know was that the so-called science and technology he saw were all things made out of the system, and Su Yang could be said to know nothing about them. Is this person powerful? The doctor is still worried about Nick taking out his research results to others. Of course, if you can't do anything about this Rubik's Cube, then I can only think of him in this world. Nick said truthfully. I believe that with his technique, he will definitely be able to study the small energy block thoroughly, and then he should be interested in the Rubik's Cube, and I will see if I want to bring him over to help you. However, if Nick knew that his energy block had been absorbed by Su Yang's system, I don't know if he would cry. Chief, Agent Mariah Hill has returned and brought a few people over to ask to see you. The voice of an agent came from outside the research institute. Okay, take them to the lounge. I'll be right over. Nick turned to Dr. Eric and said, Doctor, please continue your research. Arrived. The SHIELD agent said to Mariah. Bring them down. By the way, bring that corpse too. That is important. Mariah ordered. What about the chief? The chief told you to go to the lounge first, and he will arrive later. The SHIELD agent at the door said. Where is he? Mariah asked. The director is now at the research institute. Okay, you take the 3 living people to the lounge to take good guards. I will take this corpse to the director of the research institute, and it just so happens that I also want to find Dr. Eric. After Mariah finished speaking, she took the corpse of the Red Skull and walked in the direction of the research institute. Director. Mariah just happened to meet Nick Fury, who came out of the research institute. Mariah, why are you here? Didn't I tell you to wait for me in the lounge? Nick looked curiously at the masked man behind Mariah's back. What is he? Chief, this person will definitely surprise you. Mariah put down the person behind her and said. Mariah then unveiled the black scarf on the Red Skull. As soon as Director Nick saw the iconic Red Skull, he was also on alert for the first time. After all, the Red Skull is a bit famous. What's going on? Nick had a visibly shocked look on his face. This was given to me by Su Yang. I don't know what the specific situation is. Remember when I saw Su Yang fall to the ground after I came out of the game? I thought Su Yang had an accident and called you back. Mariah explained what happened. Then after you left, Su Yang said that he sent this to me in order to apologize for scaring me. Mariah explained what happened, said, pointing to the body of the Red Skull. What? Is this a gift from him to you? Nick watched this scene in disbelief, and the Red Skull was actually given as a gift. Did he say what happened? Nick asked again. Nothing specific. Mariah recalled what Su Yang said. All I know is that when he was playing with me, he suddenly said that a new guest was coming, and he was going out to greet the next guest. Mariah looked back as much as she could. But I didn't care at the time when I came out of the game. That's what I just said. And Su Yang only said that they came to the internet cafe to collect protection fees during the time of my game. And then the Red Skull shot at him. He was justified. And then it became like this. Mariah explained the explanation that Su Yang gave him to Nick again. What? Collect protection fees? The corners of Nick's mouth also twitched obviously. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. PS. Yesterday there was a missing chapter. I will make up for it today. Sorry. For more free Falu novels. https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 029. What? Collect protection fees? The corners of Nick's mouth also twitched obviously. That's what he explained to me. Mariah also spread her hands and said helplessly, did you take him to the research institute to let the doctor find out how he died? Nick asked. Yes, I don't think the Red Skull could have died so simply, so I thought maybe they could find out something. Doctor. Mariah spoke her mind. Try it. Nick agreed. The two turned around and walked in the direction of the research institute again. Why are you back? Dr. Eric said, looking at Nick, who turned back. Doctor, we have one more thing we need to trouble you. After speaking, Nick turned back sideways and let Mariah behind him walk in with the corpse of the Red Skull. What's the situation? Why are you bringing an outsider in? And this is still a corpse? Eric said excitedly after feeling it. Doctor, don't get excited. We suspect that the cause of his death may not be so simple. You must know that the Red Skull is a figure of the same period as Captain America, so it is impossible to die so simply. Mariah explained in detail. Captain America for a period? Dr. Eric raised his interest a little. But I'm in physics, and you go to the medical examiner related to corpses. We want you to try to study it first. Nick finally came up with their idea. Well, if nothing happens, you can't blame us. Dr. Eric had several researchers carry the Red Skull's body away. Then Doctor, we'll leave first if nothing happens. Nick also thought that there were 3 people waiting for him to interrogate. Go ahead, go ahead. Eric waved. On the other side, the young man of the 3 people locked up in the lounge had already woken up. However, when he woke up, he was desperate to find that he had just left the mouth of the tiger and transferred into the mouth of a pack of wolves. Crunch. The door to the lounge opened. Finally getting to the point, Su Yang, who was watching, was locked up in the lounge because of the youth, and he couldn't see anything interesting, so he was bored lying on the bar and doing nothing. Now that he finally saw Nick come in, he was afraid to miss a little bit of the story between Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. The 3 don't know what to call it. After entering, Director Nick spoke first. Who are you? What are you doing with us? Scarface originally thought Mariah they were a police officer, but it turned out that they were not taken into the police station, but into a secret place. Aren't you ready to release us yet? Be careful that our boss comes and kills you. He even felt like he had a chance. And the young man who saw Nick come in next to him was originally desperate, and now when he saw that his teammates were still threatening each other, he super regretted why he took him out to mess around. In fact, Scarface is not a member of Hydra at all. Strictly speaking, only the youth is a peripheral member, and then the youth found Scarface and told him how powerful Hydra is. The young man just wants to find a little brother. Who knew that this little brother was so stupid? Are you sure he's a member of Hydra? After Nick looked at Scarface's performance, he turned his head and asked Mariah with a confused expression. I actually don't know. Su Yang said so, saying that they are Red Skull's subordinates. Mariah replied, yo, you actually know that we are members of Hydra. Then you guys don't let us go. Scarface heard Nick. Since they know about Hydra, then things will be easy. Things did work out, but the two sides thought of completely different approaches. Looks like he shouldn't know anything. Take him out. I'll talk to this young man. Nick could see at a glance that the young man sitting next to him without looking at him should be Hydra's person. Hey, hurry up and let us out, or you'll regret it. Scarface's voice was still far away. After being taken away, let's talk. What's your name? Nick asked slowly. Jack Adams. Call me Jack. Jack whispered. Since you are a member of Hydra, you should probably know my identity. Nick said coldly. Of course, SHIELD Director Nick Fury. Jack seemed to already know his end, so he also became a little calmer. Not bad. The person who is worthy of being a Hydra is different from the rookie just now. Nick saw the calm Jack and praised it. Rarely he's not from our Hydra. He's just the little brother I found to make sundries. Jack thought that, since he must not be saved, Scarface was stupid, but he was still very loyal to him. If you can help, it is a handful, and then it depends on his creation. Then I'll get straight to the point and ask you directly. Nick continued, why do you Hydra go to an internet cafe? Do you know something about the owner of the internet cafe? Nick wasn't at all curious about why they appeared in New York. After all, old rivals Hydra will definitely arrange some eyeliner near them, but why he will hang up with Su Yang is a question that Nick is very concerned about. Point after all, Mariah had just told her that she had already given the energy block to Su Yang. Point. If Su Yang had a connection with Hydra, then he would have lost his wife and folded his army. Point after all. In Nick's opinion, the death of the Red Skull was too strange, and after Mariah's initial examination, there was only a bullet hole in the head on it, and there was not a trace of scars anywhere else on the body. This method of death is too simple. Mariah and Nick do not believe it, so they decide to let the doctor study the research. Internet cafe owner? We just happened to see you go into that internet cafe, and we thought it was your secret base. Jack was speechless when he heard that Nick and they didn't understand the details of the internet cafe owner. If he had known in advance, nothing would have happened at all. Nick frowned when he heard Jack's tone. You guys came into contact with Su Yang because of us? Who is Su Yang? Jack was unfamiliar with the name. Oh, that boss? Yes, you're right. Nick's biggest concern at the moment is this, and he has no interest in asking other questions, so he let Jack take him down. Point. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. For more free Flu novels, https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 030. Huh. What's the situation? Eileen on. Why is the topic between SHIELD and Hydra me? Su Yang, who was ready to listen to the story, heard that the conversation between the two was actually related to him, and he was very depressed. Do you have a bit of work ethic? Don't care what your opponents want to do. Why do they all come to pay attention to me as an ordinary internet cafe owner I rely on? Su Yang's face was depressed. There was no good show to watch now. As soon as Su Yang saw that Jack had been locked up in a secret place and there was nothing around him except the wall, he gave up the desire to continue watching. System, how do I take this thing back? Su Yang looked at the air, except the light curtain, not even a symbol of the X in the upper right corner of the video. Just tap your eyes again on the character panel. The system replied. It's so troublesome, can't you get a X? Su Yang complained in a low voice. Alas, it seems that no one should come over today, or I will go out for a walk. Su Yang thought that he had been here for so long, and he had basically been nestled in the internet cafe and had not gone out, so he wanted to go out and wander. However, when Su Yang just got up and stretched his waist and was ready to go out, there were dense footsteps at the door. Hey, there's an internet cafe in this damn place. Would you like to go inside and take a look? There's not much we can do right now anyway. Okay, let's go. Su Yang's internet cafe welcomed 3 guests, but none of these 3 guests Su Yang knew, because they were 3 ordinary young people. Is the boss there? Help us open 3 machines. The man who seemed to be the eldest among the three young men said, "Hey, this internet cafe looks pretty good. Why are there only so few machines?" The young man on the right looked around the internet cafe and found that there were only 10 machines in the well-decorated internet cafe. Did you hear it? I'm not the only one saying that there are fewer machines. Su Yang also took the opportunity to complain to the system. "Guys, I think I might want to state that my internet cafe is not an ordinary internet cafe." Su Yang still explained, "Therefore, we do not accept ordinary guests." "Oh. How is an uncommon law?" The three of them were originally just an internet cafe that they brought temporarily because they had nothing to do, but now they suddenly have a strong interest in this internet cafe. Because of Su Yang's words, you must know that the three of them are not ordinary people in New York, and the families of the three also exist in the circle of upper class people in New York. Today the three families are having a big party. But the three of them are one of many children who are ill and unwelcome in their respective families, so they were too lazy to be with their families, and they slipped out of there together, and after coming out, they also walked aimlessly. Maybe the heavens saw that they were too pitiful, and let them come to the door of Su Yang's internet cafe. How is it not ordinary? Su Yang didn't expect that they actually asked him back. It really didn't look like the children of three ordinary families. That look was too calm. "For example, I get online here for $100 an hour." Su Yang said with a smile. "What? What about your robbery? What internet cafe is so expensive to go online?" The young man on the left is named Barney Dale, and Barney has a fiery temper at first sight. "Wait, let him go on. Since he dares $100 an hour, then I wonder where the value is." The young man in the middle was named Clark Edward, and Clark was much calmer in comparison, and he didn't believe that a liar could be so calm. Su Yang looked at the calm Clark and said with a little appreciation, "Smart. Do you know the road to survive?" "The road to survival? Is that the game of shooting zombies with a gun?" Instead of hearing the message he wanted to hear, Clark became a little impatient. "Don't worry, although the game is a little average, this is a brand new version that you haven't played." Su Yang suddenly remembered this advertising phrase. "We've all played the latest version. Can you have anything special about this?" Barney, who didn't believe Su Yang, said mockingly, No, the one you play is just for you to control computer characters with a mouse and keyboard, and my new version is for you to enter the game and feel the excitement of the game for yourself." Su Yang said slowly in a demagogic tone. "Really?" Suddenly, David Lewis, who had been silent to Clark's left, interjected. "Hey, David, you won't believe what this scammer boss says." Barney was a little upset when he saw that both companions were a little interested. "Barney, you don't believe you can not play anyway, we are not bad at this money, why not try?" Clark can't say that he believes Su Yang's words. He believes in David's feelings, because David's feelings have not been missed since he was a child, and since he is interested in this game, I believe that this so-called new version will not disappoint them. "Okay, trouble game registration account $500 per person." Originally, Barney thought about $100. How about accompanying friends? But when he heard Su Yang say this again, he decided not to play in an instant. "Look at it, I will say that I'm a liar. Step by step to lie to us. I will definitely not play this game. If I play this game, I will never have a woman for the rest of my life." Barney made such a poisonous oath in order to express his determination. "Give." David chose to give the money without hesitation. And when he saw that David gave it all, he also gave it. Just sit in front of the computer, put on a helmet, and the computer will automatically brush your face to register as a member. Under Su Yang's guidance, the two entered the game smoothly. Did I really enter the game world? Clark, who has always been relatively calm, can no longer remain calm. Well, it should be, since Clark is a survival game here, I think you should know how to do it. David looked around carefully. "Of course you know, let's find a gun first," Clark said with a confident look. "Eileen, why doesn't this TM have a gun?" The two people have been carefully avoiding the zombies, trying to find a gun to defend themselves. "How do you fight this number? How can you beat a zombie without a gun?" Clark began to despair a little. "Boy, Krypton Gold? Su Yang's voice suddenly floated in the sky. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. For more free Falu novels. https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 031. Boy, Krypton Gold? Su Yang's voice suddenly floated in the sky. What sound? Clark looked around warily. It seems to be the boss's voice. David said with a frown. Smart. Su Yang's voice came again. Sure enough, it's the boss's voice. After David finished speaking, he also pointed to the sky. Boss, what do you mean by Krypton Gold? Clark asked quickly. He could feel that the breakthrough was on the two words Krypton Gold in Su Yang's mouth. In our gaming circle, a big guy surnamed Ma said that you can only play games if you have money, but you can't play Megabyte if you have money. Su Yang paused and continued, as long as you recharge money, there are infinite possibilities to play games. Really? Clark heard that. Su Yang began to ask for money again, and began to hesitate. I want a gun. How much do I need? David asked directly. Simple, since the two of you are in the initial stage now, you can only have the right to exchange small weapons such as pistols. Su Yang thought carefully and then said, a pistol of $1,000 is accompanied by 30 rounds of ammunition. How useful can a pistol be? Clark actually prefers the machine gun to be cooler than this kind of slaughter. He seems to have figured out Su Yang's routine and said directly, I want to change the permission to lift heavy fire. You say how much money it costs. Hearing Clark's rich tone, Su Yang wanted to promise him, and then knocked him fiercely. After all, the money he earned in the past few days was quietly absorbed by the system, so that his originally rich life did not dare to come out at this time. But he had already asked the system this question, but the answer the system gave him was no, because the physical fitness of these two players is very average. It is already a bit dangerous to provide pistols. The system will also help slowly strengthen the body. If you want to provide larger weapons, then Su Yang is needed to provide energy, so that the system can improve Clark and David's physique. Su Yang definitely refuses to do loss-making transactions, absorbing money to obtain less energy. How can he be willing to pay back his own energy to help others improve their physique? Therefore, Su Yang could only say helplessly, no, this is the rule. But as the time for the two to play games increases, the permissions of the two will slowly increase. Then give it to you. Pistol. David and Clark can't help it, so they can use pistols. Okay. David and Clark waited for a while, and Su Yang's voice came again. Two of you, look at your left. Hearing this, David and Clark turned to look over, and were surprised to find that there were suddenly two more pistols and a few magazines on the ground that were still empty. After the two quietly went over and picked up the pistols, their eyes began to glow. That's where the game begins. Clark sighed. The game experience just now was too bad, and the whole time he saw the monster and ran. Don't worry, the sound of the pistol is still a little loud. We need to go to a remote place first. David stopped Clark, who got the gun, and was about to go on a killing spree. Follow me, David said and led the way ahead. The two walked around the housing area, and finally left the house area, and came to an abandoned factory-like place. It should be remote enough. The number of zombies does not seem to be much. Our two pistols should be enough. David looked around the factory and said, how do you know about this place? Clark said in surprise. We just passed by here, and I took a general look at it. David said calmly. Let's go. Let's try the authenticity of this game. The two who had been running away had always been a little skeptical about the authenticity of the zombies, but at that time, they were unarmed, and did not dare to try with their own flesh. See? The zombies over there? After feeling here, David became the boss. Let's get closer, then count 123 and shoot together. Make sure to dispose of him first. David, make a plan. Good. The two people use the various bunkers in the middle to slowly approach the zombies. 1, 2, 3 shot. Bang, the gunshots of the two people rang out almost at the same time. The zombie didn't move at all, and his head was directly burst, and then his body lay straight down. Haha, it worked. This game is so real. Clark looked at the scene of the zombie's head exploding, and the whole person was a little excited. However, when he looked at David excitedly, he found David standing in place with a dull face. Motionless. David, what's wrong with you? Clark quickly went over and looked. "Don't you feel it?" David said with a shocked look on his face. "Feel what?" Clark had just felt something unusual in his body due to excitement. "After killing the zombie, didn't you feel a stream of heat injected into your body?" David had a palpable anxiety on his face as he wondered if his feelings were genuine. "Well, it seems to be," Clark said uncertainly. "Quick, let's go find another zombie to kill." David was anxious to determine that feeling. He pulled Clark out of here to find a new target. Originally, Clark still wanted to see the appearance of the dead zombie, but when he saw David's anxious look, he also followed. "Eileen on, it feels fun." Barney, who was standing behind the two and watching them play the game, began to feel a little itchy in his heart. Originally, he was also a person who was very addicted to games, but today he set a flag for himself because he was very unhappy with Su Yang. HMPH, but I don't believe this game has no shortcomings. Wait a minute, when this has shortcomings come out, I can mock it openly and then leave this damn place. Barney then watched intently as the two men played the game, hoping to find a flaw. However, Barney had been standing behind them for almost an hour, his legs were almost unconscious, and he still did not find a shortcoming that could make him complain openly. If there are drawbacks, it's that the game looks too fun, and Barney's defenses are about to be collapsed by this game. And the scene that happened next made him no longer able to bear it. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. For more free Flu novels, https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 032. If there are drawbacks, it's that the game looks too fun, and Barney's defenses are about to be collapsed by this game. And the scene that happened next made him no longer able to bear it. Because he was anxious to prove that he felt right, David took Clark on a rampage all the way looking for zombies. In the end, because they did not deliberately hide their figures, they were finally discovered by all the zombies of this abandoned factory point. There were a total of about 15 zombies, all of them surrounding the two of them point. However, due to the initial consumption of bullets, the current two people's bullets add up to about 20, and as a result, because David's accuracy is a little too low, the two were finally thrown to the ground by the remaining 7 zombies. The two men quit the game in a wail. Clark's face turned pale, obviously shocked, and he asked, "Is I dead in the game?" "Yes, you die in the game, but in reality you will not have anything at all, and the characters of the game should all know that they can be resurrected indefinitely," Su Yang explained on the side. Although David was also pale, he didn't seem to care about this, but kept clenching his hands into fists and releasing them, as if he was feeling something. Finally, he suddenly stood up and said, "Barney, come here, the two of us try our strength." What? Barney doubted that he had heard correctly, because he knew that David had always been ill because of his body. So although he came from a military family, his body had always been weak, or because his family had always found the best doctor to help him treat. Otherwise, David's physical fitness may not even be as good as that of ordinary people. "Don't talk nonsense, you won't be afraid." David knew Barney's personality, so he was directly provoked. "I see you're looking for a fight." Barney directly pushed David with his hand and found that David did not move. "Huh? Can you use some force? Didn't eat?" David continued to use words to stimulate Barney. "Eileen." This time Barney used both hands to push David, only to find that David was still motionless. Then David tried to put his hand on Barney's hand and pressed down hard. Ouch. Barney withdrew his hand in pain. "Eileen, when did your strength become so great?" David also looked at his hands in shock. "David, what's going on?" Clark also said a little incredulously next to him. "Don't you feel it?" David asked Clark rhetorically. "You mean?" Clark stood up and said, "Barney, come and try your strength." "Eileen, why are the two bosses looking for me to try their hands? Can't you try each other?" Barney complained. "Don't talk nonsense, come quickly." Although Barney was very reluctant, he still walked over honestly. Sure enough, he suffered a blow. "Is it because of the heat flow in the game?" Clark looked at David in disbelief and said, "It should be, boss. Do you say our guess is correct?" David finally looked at Su Yang with a smile on his face with expectant eyes. You guys are really smart. Yes, just because of the game. I told you this is a brand new version that you haven't played. Su Yang said with a smile. I said that my internet cafe is not ordinary, and none of my games are ordinary games. Boss, do you mean there are other magical games? David's eyes glowed intensely. Of course, and this game you definitely haven't played before. Su Yang said affirmatively. What game? Barney listened to the fact that there were games that he had not played, and he was instantly interested. Don't you believe me? Su Yang said in a mocking tone. You have a lot of adults. I was just joking. Barney admitted his mistake quite quickly. Why, I'm not afraid that you don't have a woman anymore. Clark also teased on the side. With such a fun game, what is a woman for? Barney patted his chest and said. Grim Reaper. Su Yang continued. Have you heard? The Grim Reaper? Sounds cool. Barney was completely attracted by the new game in Su Yang's mouth. Want to play? Of course I thought about it. Barney was proactive this time. Well, $1,000 to sign up for a game account. Take the money. Su Yang directly stretched out his hand. Here you go. Barney didn't play the last game, so this time he would give it, no matter what Su Yang wanted, because he didn't want to miss the fun game again. Just sit in front of the computer, like they did just now, put on your helmet, and click on the game next to survival. Su Yang instructed. Under Su Yang's guidance, Barney soon entered the game interface of the Grim Reaper. I'm afraid because I'm nowhere to be seen. Because there is no trace, it is admired. Another familiar opening animation point in Su Yang's opinion. The opening animation, which was already normal, was very special in Barney's eyes. I lean on. This atmosphere, this feeling, it's so cool. Barney said excitedly. Hey, aren't you two going to play? Su Yang looked at the two people standing behind Barney and said. No hurry, let's see how the new game is played. Clark said. Clark and David, two people who have already tasted the sweetness of the game, are not in a hurry now, and since the road to survive can surprise them, they believe that the game of death will definitely not disappoint them. Yes, it's not too late to take a look first. David was also on the side. How's it going, boy? It's you who suddenly kicked the hill. Soon the game entered its first mini plot. Is this the beginning of the show? Barney discovers that his perspective has changed from a god's perspective to a first-person perspective, and he notes that the development of the plot has begun. It's just four ordinary people. Clark saw the villain on the computer screen frowning, and said that he originally thought that, since this game could be proposed by Su Yang, after they played the Road to Survival, then the magic of this game should be above the Road to Survive. Don't worry, this is just the beginning, David said from the sidelines. Soon Barney receives the game's prompt to solve the person in a very short time. Although Barney's speed of completion was not as fast as Su Yang's, his physical fitness was also above ordinary people, so he barely met the requirements of the task. Is this feeling what David and Clark are talking about in the game? After completing the task, Barney instantly felt a stream of heat injected into his body. It makes him feel as if he is full of power. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. For more free Flu novels, https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 033. Is this feeling what David and Clark are talking about in the game? After completing the task, Barney instantly felt a stream of heat injected into his body. It makes him feel as if he is full of power. Barney was immersed in the feeling of increasing his strength, and before he knew it, he had reached the first appearance of Void. Roar. With a hoarse roar, the classic monster in the Grim Reaper, Void, appears. Eileen, what kind of monster is this TM? It's so big. Barney was so frightened that he wanted to turn around and run away. After all, he is not a superhero. He is just an ordinary person with better physical fitness than ordinary people. But after he ran far and turned back, could it be that Barney's heroic potential was stimulated? Of course not. Barney, who ran back, was thinking something in his mouth. Of course Barney wanted to complain. Damn it, he didn't run far when he heard the system's tone. Protect the little girl. If the little girl dies, the game mission fails and the game ends. Barney just started enjoying the game, and he was willing to go out like this, so he was afraid that the monster would come back and take the little girl away. However, it didn't take long for Barney to feel better, and the key story mission of the entire game, Rukia, appeared. A very handsome knife solved the huge void. Barney's eyes were drawn to Rukia's handsomeness. He also wants to have this kind of strength, but he knows that he will have it because he is the main character in this game, so he will definitely have access to it. Then Barney watched the plot dialogue very carefully, thinking that he would get some useful information from it. I rely on, how come it's all some introductions? Big brother, you quickly teach me how to get your ability. Barney was anxious. At this time, David and Clark outside the game were still shocked by the existence of the void just now. Boss, are you setting all these up yourself? David looked at Su-Yang in surprise. What's wrong? Su-Yang asked curiously. Then your head is too strong. I have played so many games and have never seen such a special monster have been able to set. Clark was also on the side. Just watch the conversation between them. The setting of your game is actually related to the soul. Originally, if it was just a virtual game, it was only a relatively normal part to be related to the soul. But don't forget that in the hearts of David and Clark, the game in SYNOPSIS Internet Café is similar to the real world. So in this case, the relevant soul technology in the game world may be able to be used in the real world. Is it weird to do with this? Su-Yang said a little puzzled. Since your game is a game that makes us feel almost real, can we bring out the technology inside? David asked the key question he had speculated. Well, this one. Su-Yang was actually a little unsure. Theoretically, yes, as long as they have that channel and strength. The system helped Su-Yang answer this question point. When Su-Yang told the answer of the system to David and Clark, the two of them were as if they had not seen a beautiful woman for 10 years, and the light in their eyes could burn people. Well, the value of this game is much higher than the road to survival. David and Clark thought of this at the same time point, because there is nothing worth risking in the background of the survival game, but things are far from as simple as they think point, because all the techniques they want to bring out are in the corpse soul world, and they will be limited by the plot characters. It is even more difficult to bring things out as they want. Look, Barney seems to have reached the key plot. David suddenly pointed to the computer screen and shouted. Su-Yang saw that sure enough, now Barney was having a final conversation with Rukia. Want to save your family? Rukia lay on the ground seriously injured, and said with difficulty, of course. There is only one way, and that is for you to become the Grim Reaper. When Barney heard Rukia say this, the whole person was excited, and then he heard the system's prompt. Do you choose to become the Grim Reaper? Of course it's a choice. Do you need to ask? Barney couldn't wait to get the power of death. And he chose yes without hesitation. Then Barney saw him walk up to Rukia and plunge her knife into his chest. Eileen, do I have to be so exciting to gain power? Barney could clearly feel the feeling of being pierced in his chest by a knife. With Rukia's daily surprise, Barney successfully obtains the power of death. Is this the power of the Grim Reaper? Barney was excited. Be careful. From next to Barney came Rukia's voice. Void is not the kind of monster who is stupidly waiting for you to kill him, and when he saw Barney standing in place for a long time without moving, he directly took the initiative to attack. Barney's first experience of the game was just when he gained the power he dreamed of. I saw that the black horse Ichigo controlled by Barney was directly eaten. I rely on this mental retard. Always drop the chain at the critical moment. Clark cursed in a low voice outside. He originally hoped that Barnado would show them some of the power of death, but he ended up directly on the street. After coming out, Barney's face was paler than Clark and David, who had just been killed by zombies, because what he experienced was the whole soul being thrown into the mouth of the void and chewed, and the horror of this death was far higher than the death level of the zombie game point. Sure enough, after Barney came out, Su-Yang heard the system's prompt tone saying that Barney's experience of the Grim Reaper game today was gone. This means that Barney cannot enter the world of death again today. The reason given by the system was the fear of Barney's mental breakdown. When Su-Yang told Barney this information, Barney put on his helmet again and wanted to enter the game in disbelief, but no matter how he clicked to start, there was no response point in the end. He could only reluctantly accept this rule. Boss, he should be able to play survival mode, right? Looking at their dejected friends, the two people who were still complaining just now decided to accompany Barney to play the road to survival. After all, the game of death will not run. They will have a chance, of course. Do you want 3 people to team up? Then trouble you 2 to hand over the 1000 that you just recharged. Su Yang said with a smile. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. For more free Falu novels. https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 034. Then trouble you 2 to hand over the 1000 that you just recharged. Su Yang said with a smile. Seeing Su Yang with a profiteer look, the corners of Clark and David's mouths twitched. Because in their hearts, the image of Su Yang, who had the label of mystery and power, collapsed instantly. And the image that has been re-erected in their hearts is left with the only label of profiteers. However, Clark and they still obediently handed over all the money, and they also handed over the 500 needed for Barney's game registration. David walked up to Barney's side, patted him on the shoulder and said, "Don't be discouraged, come on, the 3 of us haven't played a game together in a long time." Barney is safeguarded by his friends, and after a little recovery, he follows David and Clark to survive. This time, after the previous experience, the 3 of them entered the game, and saw that one of them first exchanged 1000 pistols first point. Then the 3 began their first journey to survival. Look, is it much faster to make money this way? It doesn't break the rules yet. Su Yang looked at the paper ticket in his hand and said proudly, "So your system won't be flexible at all. Let's change the rules a little. You think that a few ordinary people can only give us money, but you think about what if we go to Stark, a scientific genius?" Su Yang was frantically calculating in his mind how to earn enough benefits from Iron Man. The energy block may not be available to him, but other high energy things, I believe he can still get his hands. When the time comes, you can casually change a weapon to him in the game. He will definitely recharge. Congratulations to the host for triggering the hidden mission. Help the system upgrade better. Mission rewards. Giving the host greater control over the game, based on the level and number of items provided by the host that can be absorbed and upgraded by the system. Su Yang didn't expect that he would trigger the hidden task because of his own complaint point. Moreover, this task is actually a matter of the system. Seeing that Su Yang's measures have been effectively progressed, and thus began to slowly delegate the rights of the game to Su Yang. Let Su Yang think about more ideas, get more benefits, and let the system advance faster. You won't be flexible after just saying, "Are you so proactive now?" Su Yang was a little surprised. Su Yang looked at the control of that game and began to think that he could change the game at will in the future. Time quickly passed in the joyful time. The Clark 3, who had relied on pistols to quickly get through the early stage, did not have much bullets in the back because they killed enough zombies. Their strength is enough to allow them to kill zombies with cold weapons, and they also want to enjoy the feeling of fighting zombies. Therefore, after they ran out of pistol bullets in the back, they did not continue to exchange with Su Yang, but chose hand-to-hand combat. While they were still immersed in the refreshing feeling of hand-to-hand combat, they heard sounds they didn't want to hear. Because the system says they have reached the time limit to go online, and then kicks them out of the game. I rely on, boss, does your internet cafe still have an internet time limit? Barney came out this time because he did not experience death, so his mental head is very good. Of course, each person can only have 4 hours a day, so if you still want to play, please be early tomorrow. Su Yang explained a little. Seeing that Barney seemed to be very unwilling to leave like this, Su Yang added, "By the way, if you want to make trouble in the internet cafe, you will be thrown out by me." If it was usual, if others dared to talk to Barney like this, with his fiery temper, he would definitely do it directly. But he thought about it. His experience in the internet cafe today was tragic enough. If he was thrown out again, he was afraid that he would have no face in the future. Coupled with the fact that, although he is reckless, he is not stupid. Since Su Yang can open this magical internet cafe, then he is definitely not simple. So Barney ended up honestly following Clark and David and leaving. Ugh. Su Yang stretched out a lazy waist. Now there is finally no one. It's too late to see the sky. Let's go out tomorrow and then play with death today. At this time, 3 people who had just left the internet cafe were walking down the street. David, your illness should be completely better this time. Barney asked. I don't know, but I've never felt so strong physically. David has always felt the satisfaction of his body. Okay, let's go back. We've all been out for more than 4 hours. Counting the time, their party should be over. We can still catch up with the end when we go back now. Don't forget the one who hates others for being late. Hearing this, David and Barney seemed to have thought of something terrible, and the two who were still very excited were like boiled cabbage, and there was nothing to be excited about in an instant. The three of them quickly arrived at a castle-like place without words. Oops, it seems to have begun. We quietly touched in from the side. Clark pointed to the small door next to him and said, let's just hope that no one notices us this time. David walked in after Clark. A huge banquet was being held in a large enclosed room, and at one end of the banquet there was a stage on which an old man was saying something like a closing remark point in one corner of the room. A door slowly opened, and Clark and the three of them carefully kept their movements to a minimum to prevent any movement from attracting the attention of everyone who was listening to the old man's speech. But, no one should have noticed us. Clark whispered to the two people behind him. Hey, why are you three going? Just when Clark thought no one had spotted them, suddenly a voice shattered their illusion. David Lewis is David's cousin. David, can you not run around for a day? Is it clear that there is a disease on the body and does not stop? David frowned. What do I want to do with you? David looked at the cousin in front of him who had looked down on him because of his illness since he was a child and said, yes, David, does it have anything to do with you where we are going? Barney stepped forward. Less mixed with waste, you still think about how to cope with the assessment of the day after tomorrow. Even if the old man hurts you again, if you don't have a good grade, you will just be a waste in the future. David said and turned away, not even looking at Barney and Clark. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. For more free Flu novels, https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 035. David left directly after speaking, without even looking at the other two. He's so arrogant, I really want to punch him in that stinky face. Barney said angrily. Okay, don't get excited. Clark comforted Barney, and then said to David, I know what you're thinking. Go. It's time to vent your resentment over the decades. Let them know that they know the end of looking down on you. Yes, David, we now know that our strength has grown wildly after that internet cafe. I believe that you can hit them hard in the face of the assessment the day after tomorrow. Barney's shocked face was not angry at all when he thought of David and saw David's strength. Assessment? I'll shut those people up. David clenched his fists hard. It's a brand new day again, and the morning sun is shining point at the door of the internet cafe. As usual, several figures were waiting for Su Yang. Opens the door and do business. Hey, why are you guys so early every day? Su Yang, who was about to open the door, saw a familiar figure standing outside the door. Haha, boss, that's because your game here is so fun. Stark entered the internet cafe first. Hey, why is there one less person today? Su Yang saw that only 3 people walked in. The chief is a little urgent today. He can't come. Let me help him bring a good one to you. Mariah said when she passed by Su Yang's side. By the way, the little thing I gave you yesterday, boss, you played all night to see what it didn't have? Mariah asked, side by side. What little thing? Su Yang asked with a blank look. It's that little thing like a square. Mariah gestured. Oh, well, there were 3 new guests yesterday, so I haven't even gotten that thing yet. Su Yang actually wanted to have fun with that thing, but it was absorbed by the system before he could heat up in his hands. Okay. Mariah, who didn't get the answer she wanted, could only be counted. Ah, by the way, boss, do you know Captain America? Mariah asked suddenly. How can the Captain of the United States not know? I think everyone in the United States knows. Su Yang said with disdain. Why are you asking me this? Su Yang asked again. You'll know if you wait. Mariah smiled mysteriously, and then she left. Inexplicable. Suyang also scratched his head what Mariah wanted to express. Boss, come and teach us how to play that new game Reaper. Stark and Banner have been thinking about the new game since they went back yesterday. Click to start, and then play with the plot yourself. How old is it? Can't you explore by yourself? Suyang complained. The taunted Stark and Banner, two people, you look at me, I look at yours. Damn it, can two highly intelligent geniuses still be stumped by a game? You play first, and then I lines help you see. Banner said to Stark. Good. Stark said solemnly, and then entered the world of death. I won't say much about the previous plot. Soon, Stark came to the most crucial step in the initial plot, becoming the Grim Reaper. Get out of the way, Stark. Banner looked at Stark, who was defeated by the false force, and said excitedly, cut him with your knife. It's a pity that Stark was eaten in the hands of Void without holding out for a few rounds. Eileen, you are usually so powerful when you control mecha. Why are you so stupid just now? Banner looked at the pale Stark and said. Stark took a deep breath in shock and said, you don't know, your whole state has changed after becoming the Grim Reaper. Probably because of the soul state. I feel that I can't use my strength at all. How so? Banner said with some disbelief. If you don't believe it, try it. Stark said angrily. Try it, try it. Banner just put on his helmet and entered the game. System, how do they feel that it is so difficult to operate? Suyang was a little curious about why Stark looked so clumsy, because they were on the road to survive some time ago. Although their physical fitness has been steadily improving, their souls have not been enhanced at all. Then the incongruity between the soul and the body causes their usual activities to consume more soul power, so their soul power will be weaker than ordinary people after entering the world of death. The system's answer is detailed. Eileen, is there still such a thing? So why do I feel like nothing is going on? Suyang asked in surprise. Because you're the host. The answer to this system is simple. So what if they only played the road to survive and not the game of death to improve their souls? Suyang was suddenly curious about this question. If they had no other way to strengthen their souls, they would have died young. The system gave a very positive answer. Eileen, can I still play dead people by playing a game? Suyang was taken aback. Is this a very happy slow death? Suyang even thought, after that, can I see who is not pleasing to the eye? Just arrest him and keep playing games and then play him to death. Eileen, why? Suyang, who was thinking wildly, heard Banner's complaining voice. Sure enough, when he looked up, he found that Banner and Stark encountered the same problem, that is, when controlling the character, because their soul power was too weak. As a result, he has always had a jerky feeling in operation, which is completely different from the feeling when playing the road to survival, and even the feeling before he became the Grim Reaper. Hey, Stark, did you say it was because we became the Grim Reaper? I feel like it's pretty easy to control before I become the Grim Reaper. Banner said suddenly. Probably not, since the name of this game is called the Grim Reaper. Then becoming the Grim Reaper should be the characteristic of this game. If you don't become the Grim Reaper, do you think you can beat that monster called Void with the body of an ordinary person? Stark thought about it carefully and disagreed with Banner. Then why do you say so? I'm going to try it. Once again, Banner put on his helmet and entered the game. Soon Banner arrived at the moment before he became the Grim Reaper. Want to save your family? There is only one way, and that is for you to become the Grim Reaper. The system asked as usual if Banner had become the Grim Reaper, and this time Banner's choice was no. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. For more free Falu novels, https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 036. Want to save your family? There is only one way, and that is for you to become the Grim Reaper. The system asked as usual if Banner had become the Grim Reaper, and this time Banner's choice was no. Then Banner looked forward to a different plot development, but to his surprise, after he chose no, the system asked again, and then Banner chose no. The system then kicked Banner out of the game. Eileen, since I can't choose no, then why ask me? Banner was speechless about the game. Hey, the system, I also want to know, if you can't choose no, why do you leave a question? Suyang originally wanted to ask this question when he played last time. Can there still be this option? This is because the host is the first to play this game. Remember when I mentioned that the host has two game modes? The system went on to say, one is the story mode, the other is the free mode, and the free mode is turned on to choose no. When the host chooses no, you leave the plot and become a character outside the plot. I rely on, if you don't say it earlier, I will try it earlier. Suyang said speechlessly, thinking that he had spent a boring night yesterday and felt very bad. You didn't ask. And Stark, because of the baptism of zombies, coupled with his original psychological endurance, so he can play many games, but according to the system, he can play at most about 10 games a day. Any more would cause substantial damage to his soul point, and Banner's situation is more special because of the existence of the Hulk, so in theory, whether it is the road to survival or death, he can play an unlimited number of times as long as he is within the time limit of the internet. Suyang really couldn't bear it. They used all their opportunities in the first plot like this, and when they were about to go over and point out, a few more guests came to the internet cafe. Boss, we are here again. The three young people who came to surf the internet yesterday afternoon, Clark and David and Barney, came to the internet cafe again. Hey, why are there so many people today? Barney came in and saw Stark and them. Wow, there's a guy over there. Barney saw Mariah in front of the computer, and he was about to step forward to talk when Clark pulled him along. What for? Barney asked suspiciously. Are you stupid? Didn't you recognize that person? Clark pointed to Stark, who was still in distress. I'm leaning, that's Tony Stark. Barney exclaimed. Huh? Someone called me? Stark heard the sound and looked over. You know me. Of course, how could the famous Iron Man Tony Stark not know him? Barney said excitedly. Oh. Stark saw that it was three ordinary young men, and did not continue to deal with them, but turned his head, and continued to fight. How to defeat the Void. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the advanced task. The internet cafe receives 5 guests at the same time. Mission reward: host level increased by 1. Reward: host special skill, teleportation. Suddenly, a series of system prompts sounded. Huh? Transmission? Suyang was caught off guard and acquired a new skill. Why teleport me? Are there defensive towers and minions to teleport me? Wait. Suyang, who was complaining that the teleportation skill had no target, suddenly remembered something. I seem to have a true eye that can teleport. Then Suyang did not speak, but waited for the next prompt of the system. Sure enough, after a while, the system's prompt tone followed. Ding, trigger an expedition mission, explore a secret shield base. Depending on the host's level of exploration, different levels of mission rewards will be given at the end. Eileen, the system you did on purpose. Suyang really didn't guess wrong. You suddenly send me a teleportation now. I know that you want me to help you step on the secret base where S.H.I.E.L.D. places the cosmic cube. That is, the Infinity Stones. I think after this exploration mission is over, you will definitely release another mission to steal or rob. Suyang continued. You just absorbed that energy block and aroused your appetite, and now you want to directly attack the subject, right? I won't take risks without saying the benefits in advance, although I look strong now, but this is because in the scope of the internet cafe and the like, you want me to go to the base of S.H.I.E.L.D. alone, and I won't go if there is not enough benefit for such a dangerous thing. Suyang said categorically. Ding, refusing the mission will take back the right to be invincible within the confines of the internet cafe. The system directly gave Suyang a one-hit kill. Eileen, you ruthless. Suyang has to go if he doesn't go now. After all, the internet cafe can now be said to be his home, and it is impossible to give up the right to be invincible in the scope of the internet cafe. But I can't get out now. There are so many people in the internet cafe. Suyang signaled that there were too many people in the internet cafe, and he couldn't leave at all now. Ding, the task completion time is 12 hours, and more than 12 hours is judged as a failed task. Mission failure also takes back the host's right to be invincible in the internet cafe. Well, the system directly gave him the time of the task. Depend. Count you ruthless. Suyang looked at it. 12 hours. It probably means that he must complete this so-called exploration task before the door opens tomorrow morning. For the first time, Su-Yang hoped that these people in the internet cafe would leave quickly so that he could find a way to complete the Pit Daddy task prepared by this Pit Daddy system. That Mr. Stark, can I ask for a copy of your autograph? Barney grabbed Stark and ran over in the game's free time to say, I'm not available now, wait a minute. Stark is still in the next plot, depressed because he has not yet defeated the Void. How can he be in the mood to sign? That Mr. Stark, if I tell you what's going on, can you sign for me? Barney said cautiously. What did you say? Stark turned his head and asked a little disbelief. I said if I told you how to live, could you give me an autograph? Barney said slowly. Of course you can. Don't say autograph. I can also treat you to a meal. What Stark wants most now is how to get through this damn void. It's actually not that hard. Barney carefully said that the three of them had pondered and found a way to get through it after they went back yesterday. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. For more free Falu novels, https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 037. It's actually not that hard. Barney carefully said that the three of them had pondered and found a way to get through it after they went back yesterday. Barney's not difficult statement made both Stark and Banner look forward to it. Say something quickly. Krypton Gold. Playing games is the quickest way to get money when you can't beat monsters. Yes, yesterday Barney, David and Clark struggled to find the solution to charge money because the problems that can be solved by charging money are not worth their more thoughts. Krypton Gold? What do you mean? Stark asked with a frown. Does it mean to charge money? Banner noticed the keyword behind Barney. Yes, don't you know that you can top up? Barney was wondering why Stark and they were all killed many times in this plot and they didn't charge their money. He also thought that Stark was unwilling to charge money and wanted to spend on his own technology, but now it seems that this is not the case, but simply does not know Krypton Gold. Boss, can you still top up your game? Stark and Banner looked at Su-Yang at the same time. Yes, can't the game be recharged? Su-Yang said with a natural look. Then why didn't you tell me? Stark was going crazy, and if he had known earlier that charging money would solve the problem, he wouldn't have been stupidly killed all the time. You didn't ask? Su-Yang shrugged and said, besides, charging money is a manifestation of not believing in your own technology. I guess you should be confident in yourself. Su-Yang continued. Self-confidence is one thing, stupidity is another. Obviously a problem that can be solved easily. Why do you have to use a complex way? Stark's answer also has some truth. Don't talk about these useless things, boss. Tell me how your two games are a top-up method? Banner interrupted Stark. Are the two of them like this? Mariah said abruptly, pointing to Clark and David's computer screens. Stark and Banner immediately went over to look at the game screen of the two people and saw that two people, one with a pistol, were frantically slaughtering zombies. I rely on it. Their early game is too good. Stark said enviously, knowing that every time this game enters it starts from scratch, which means that more than half of their 4 hours of game time is actually wasted on hiding in the early stage and looking for zombies that have been left behind. When the level is raised to the point where they can deal with many zombies at the same time, and because their 4 hours of game time are about to run out, the improvement of their physical fitness every day is actually less and less. But now if you have a gun, you can quickly pass the early stage, so that the stage of their slaughter of zombies will come in advance, so that the number of zombies they kill will have a qualitative leap. That is to say, the speed of improvement of their physical fitness will increase. Actually, it's relatively simple, which can be summed up in one sentence. You give me money, and then you can discuss what you want to have in the game. Su-Yang explained on the side. Anything? Stark said in a skeptical tone. What if I want a nuclear bomb? Yes, but are you sure you want to pay that price? Su-Yang looked at Stark with idiot-like eyes. It's costly? Seriously, if you want a nuclear bomb, I can get it for you. Stark said proudly. No, that's not what I meant. Su-Yang shook his head and continued, because if you use a nuclear bomb, the characters you control yourself will also die, so what's the point of you charging money? Well, it seems to make sense. Stark scratched his head and said awkwardly, and if you want a nuclear bomb, then it's not just as simple as giving me money. Su Yang suddenly looked at Stark with a smile on his face and said, What do you want to do? Stark looked at Su Yang with a look of horror. Where do you want TM to go? I'm talking about something else. Su Yang looked at Stark with a black face and actually wrapped his hands around his chest to protect himself. Su Yang silently asked the system in his heart, you can absorb anything, right? So what about nuclear bombs and other things? Yes. The system replied. For example, if you want a nuclear bomb in the game, then you have to get me at least one nuclear bomb in reality. Su Yang finally said, Eileen, why do you, an internet cafe owner, want a nuclear bomb? Stark said suspiciously. You care about me, you say, if you can get it. Don't forget the bull that some people just bragged about. Su Yang estimated to stir Stark with words. Stark, as a businessman who himself makes arms and sells them to the military, could be embarrassed by this little thing. If you dare to ask for it, I will dare to give it. Barney heard the conversation between Su Yang and Stark next to him and has been swallowing his saliva to resolve his fright and his inner monologue at this time is, I rely on, worthy of being my idol Iron Man. I can give someone a nuclear bomb at every turn, but this internet cafe owner is also too powerful. Really must be a very powerful person to open such an extraordinary internet cafe. Boss, let's talk about this first. Banner interrupted Stark and Su Yang's conversation again. Can we solve our current problems first? What I want to know is that the monster called Void or something, it should also be a soul body. Are you sure you can solve it with weapons and these things? Banner said suspiciously. Of course it's not ordinary weapons. All I provide you with are firearms that can cause damage to souls. Su Yang explained. Then boss, if I want a pistol, what price does it cost? Stark thought about it, killing that false word. One pistol was enough. Just a pistol? Don't order something bigger? Su Yang still wants to try to get Stark to invest more. Not yet. That's $1W. Only 15 rounds. Su Yang said angrily. So expensive? Banner suddenly saw Barney next to him looking at Su Yang with a surprised expression, so he asked, how much money are you? They seem to give 1,000. Barney said honestly. What? Boss, why do I want 1W? Stark said immediately after hearing Barney's answer. Because I'm the boss. Su Yang pointed to himself and said, point, please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. For more free Falu novels, https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 038. Because I'm the boss. Su Yang pointed to himself and said. So I have the final say. You can choose not to give R and then rely on your technology to pass. Come on, I'm optimistic about you. Don't. I'll give it right away. Stark gave the money very cheerfully and even helped Banner give 1W. Boss, I transferred your account. Stark held up his phone and shook it. Then why did you give me that pistol? You'll know after you go in and play. Su Yang said, after receiving the message from the mobile phone. Stark immediately put on his helmet and entered the Grim Reaper game again. Eileen on. That's okay. When Stark comes to the plot of becoming the Grim Reaper again, he discovers that he is actually holding a pistol when he is supposed to be holding a chopping knife. But this is the weapon I'm familiar with. Stark laughed. Point, after all, as a modern person, it is really difficult for him to cut people with his cold weapons or guns and other comfort. Point, Stark's whole state with a pistol has changed and he is no longer in the stage of panicking and operating the character while dodging and attacking closely. Point, because of his long range attack attributes, he only needs to attack from a distance, and the increase in distance gives Stark enough time to operate the character to dodge attacks, so the difficulty has dropped by more than one notch. Sure enough, within a few minutes, Stark had successfully killed the first virtual with a pistol. Haha, finally killed this monster. Stark was so excited that he didn't even hear what the system said to him. However, he can clearly feel that his actions in manipulating characters are more fluid. On the one hand, because of the proficiency accumulated by long-term operation. Of course, the more significant aspect is because he completed the primary plot, and the reward given by the system has greatly enhanced his soul. Banner, aren't you going to try it? Su-Yang saw that Banner had been watching Stark play with himself, but did not play, and asked. No hurry, since this is a plot game, it is also good to watch others play to understand the plot. Banner explained. Ding, the transformation of the Red Skull soul is complete. Su-Yang, who was about to speak, was stopped by the system's prompt. Is the transformation finally complete? Su-Yang muttered. Su-Yang took the opportunity to lie on the bar and made a sleeping posture, but his soul came out of the research room made by the system again. Hello, Master. Sure enough, the Red Skull knelt there respectfully waiting for Su-Yang's arrival. It looks like it's in good spirits, Su-Yang said, after observing the Red Skull's punch. Thank you, Master, for your concern. Does the Master have any orders? Because the Red Skull had been transformed, he was now subconsciously 100% loyal to Su-Yang. There are no orders. In fact, I have always had a question that I'm curious about. That is, the one named Jack is just your little brother. Does he need you to save him if something happens? Su-Yang actually hadn't thought much about this problem. He originally thought that the people who came would only be people 1 or 2 levels higher than Jack in Hydra, and he didn't expect that there would be a boss-like existence at all. Back to Master, the reason I came is not because of Jack at all, but because of you. Red Skull said respectfully. Because of me? You probably didn't know me at the time. Su-Yang was a little confused. Yes, it's because of your technique, to be exact, because we've never seen anyone survive losing a heart, so we'd love to know how you did it, and it's a technique they desperately need. The Red Skull didn't think of himself as a Hydra person at all, so he used them later. Therefore, they should not give up, but according to the strength of the Master, there is not much need to worry about them. So that's the case. By the way, isn't the transformation soul all in the form of pills? How are you still in human form? Su-Yang asked suspiciously. Ding, congratulations on getting the special item, Transform Soul, Red Skull. The system's tone came again. Su-Yang found that the Red Skull disappeared directly in front of him. Eileen, so decisive? Su-Yang continued. Where is he? The host can view its own item panel. The system replied. Is that pill-like thing the soul of the Red Skull transformed? Su-Yang opened his item panel and found that there was a pill lying quietly inside. System, can you help the Red Skull get a body out? Su-Yang asked. Of course, you can have anybody you want. Really? Is it okay to have a godlike body? Su-Yang said in disbelief. Of course, you can, but you can only do activities such as the scope of the Internet Café, and once you go out of the scope of the Internet Café, the body will collapse. The system speaks out the limit. I said, if you can really be invincible, then what's the point of not being able to go out of the Internet Café? Su-Yang thought for a long time, or decided to ignore the Red Skull first, and wait until he had a usable carrier in the future. By the way, it can be like this. Su-Yang took out the pill in the item panel, and threw it into his mouth, and then Su-Yang's soul appeared directly behind his body, but strangely Su-Yang's body did not fall, because of the departure of Su-Yang's soul. Sure enough, it has the same function as the original. Su-Yang's soul slowly floated in front of him, and looked at his face. Red Skull, you have to behave well, and don't give people their own flaws. I have something to go out. Yes, Master. The Red Skull replied, and then he chose to continue lying on the bar, so that if he was fine, he would not be the least likely to be found flawed. It's clever. Okay, let me try the effect. Su-Yang wanted to know if his current self was really unnoticed by everyone, and he had to try it himself to do what he wanted to do next. Just as he was walking around the Internet Cafe and passing by Banner, Banner seemed to feel something, looked around and then watched Stark play the game intently, while the others did not respond. It seems that under normal circumstances, you can't feel my presence. Su-Yang determined this. As for Banner, it should be because of the Hulk, and my current state can clearly feel the existence of the Hulk's soul in Banner's body. In that case, shield, I'm coming. Su-Yang said with a smile. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. For more free Falu novels, https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 039. In that case, shield, I'm coming. Su Yang said with a smile. Su Yang clicked on his special skill and then selected the teleportation skill. A dazzling light surrounded Su Yang's soul, and after a few seconds, Su Yang disappeared into the internet cafe. And when he appeared again, he came to Jack, who was imprisoned by shield in the Chamber of Secrets. Jack, who was originally sitting in the secret room, suddenly felt that there seemed to be something more around him, but he couldn't see it, and he could only think that it was his own illusion. Phew, it's good that Laotzu was teleported from the soul state, otherwise this light would be too conspicuous. Because in Su Yang's eyes, he could see the transmitted light. It was like covering the entire secret room, and it was impossible to make people invisible. However, because Su Yang is a soul state teleportation, it also causes ordinary people to not see the light at all, and can only say that they will feel a little. Well, this should be the base of shield. Su Yang looked around and said, "Ding, shield secret base exploration. The current exploration level is 5%. Please continue to explore to complete the task. The minimum completion requirement for the mission is 80% exploratory." Sure enough, not long after he came in, the system informed him that the exploration mission had begun. "Since you have started, let's take a good look." Su Yang frowned, but in the end, the cosmic cube, that is, the legendary space gem, is hidden in that direction. Forget it, let's go out first. Su Yang looked at the surrounding walls, but he still chose a random direction first and walked over. Boom. Ouch. Eileen, am I not in a soul state? Why do you still hit the wall? Su Yang asked, rubbing the place where he was hurt. Have you ever seen the Grim Reaper pass through a wall in death? Because your soul is too cohesive, you can't go through the wall. The system explained. Eileen, so how do I get out? Su Yang originally thought that it should be super simple to explore when he got into a soul state and others couldn't see it, and then the soul could still float around. Don't forget that you still have an enhanced version of the escape technique. The system reminds you. Can the soul state also work? Su Yang whispered, try it. Su Yang can only die as a living doctor, otherwise if he can't even get out of this room, what else can he talk about completing the task? Su Yang came to the wall and found the escape technique in his skill bar. Escape technique. This time, Su Yang successfully fused into the iron wall. It's really okay, the enhanced version is really powerful, even iron can escape. Su Yang swam directly through the walls, ceiling, and ground. And the system's prompt sound kept echoing in his ears. Ding, the degree of exploration reaches 6%. Ding, ding, the degree of exploration reaches 7%. Ding, the degree of exploration reaches 8%. Ding, the degree of exploration reaches 70%. Suddenly, the degree of exploration, which had been growing steadily, jumped directly from 30% to 70%. Su Yang knew that he should have come to a key place. It should be there. Su Yang looked at a place protected by many agents. Institute? Su Yang slowly approached. It seems that this should be the Doctor's Institute in the movie. It seems that they are still intensifying their research on space gems, but it seems that they only studied that thing as the direction of the enhanced version of the Nanfu battery at the beginning, and they don't know if they are aware of the existence of space gems now. Su Yang slowly entered the research institute, and he saw that the people walking back and forth in the research institute were all researchers. There was not a single agent, and it seems that Nick kept all the agents outside. What does the doctor think? We were already tight enough on time, and now we actually let a group of us study a corpse? Yes, we are not medical examiners. Okay, don't say any more. This is Director Nick's meaning, not the doctor's meaning. 3 people walked in front of Su Yang, who was floating in the air, and the content of the chat between these 3 people attracted Su Yang's attention. Study corpses? Su Yang thought for a while. It won't be the corpse of the Red Skull I gave them. Go over and take a look. Su Yang made up his mind and floated away in the direction where the 3 people went. I really am. After Su Yang, who followed the 3 people, entered a room. He clearly saw the Red Skull lying quietly on a bed. Around the Red Skull, there are at least 4 to 5 people, and researchers are doing various studies on him. What are they going to do? Crazy? Nothing to study a corpse. Su Yang didn't understand why a group of people who were not forensic doctors had to work hard around a corpse, and they were all very reluctant to do this from the conversation between the 3 people just now. What Su Yang didn't know was that these were all because of his joke. I collected protection fees, and then I beat them to death. Of course, Nick, they didn't believe that the cause of death was so simple, so they wanted to study and see if they could explore Su Yang's secret. Hey, look at it, the Rubik's Cube seems to have reacted. Suddenly, from a place not far from Su Yang, came a voice that Su Yang had been waiting for a long time. What? Record it now. At this time, a middle-aged man who seemed to be the backbone of the main heart shouted, "The reaction is gone." This is another voice ringing. The middle-aged man with a significantly higher status grabbed the first researcher to speak and said, "What did you just do? What makes the Rubik's Cube react?" The researcher who was caught was obviously intimidated by the middle-aged man, and he said hesitantly, I don't know, I just saw that the Rubik's Cube just emitted a very strong light." And at this time, Su Yang, who followed the voice, just saw this scene. Is that square-like thing a space gem? Su Yang looked excitedly at the Rubik's Cube that the researchers were surrounding them. Ding, 100% exploration. Congratulations to the host for completing the exploration mission perfectly. Mission reward, random draw once, sure. Enough. The moment Su Yang saw the space gem, the system's prompt sounded instantly. Originally, there were still about 30% of the exploration tasks that were not explored, became perfectly completed in an instant, and Su Yang, who had been mentally prepared for all this, was not happy that he had completed the task perfectly, but he silently complained in his heart. I said, "System, don't you have anything else to reward? How come it's all random lotteries lately? Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. For more free Falu novels, https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 040. I said, "System, don't you have anything else to reward? How come it's all random lotteries lately?" At this time, in the boundless universe, there are actually 2 creatures on a remote starfield and a remote planet. The cosmic cube has awakened. It's in a small world, the human world. People want to use its power, but only our allies will use it, and humanity is just wishful thinking. A seemingly non-human creature said to a throne with his back to him. He will be the vanguard, and our army of Cheritus will follow. Give him an earth, and we want the whole universe. Of course, as long as you help me lay down the earth, I can help you find the Infinity Stone. Loki said elegantly. I hope you didn't deceive us. Otherwise, even if you are the son of Odin, the ruler of the 9 kingdoms, we will let you know the horror of our Cheritus Starman. The alien creature said. Don't worry, as long as you cooperate well with me, I won't lie to you. Although Loki said this, what he thought in his heart was, you fools, when I finish using you, I will find another opportunity for you to fight with the Childka. Then let us know when you're ready. The alien creature disappeared after speaking. At this time, the scepter in Loki's hand seemed to sense something, emitting a strong light and transmitting a message to Loki. Loki looked at the radiant scepter and muttered, "Found it? It seems that it is necessary to prepare in advance. Is this the Internet Café that killed the Red Skull?" A burly figure appeared outside the Internet Café. The burly man walked into the Internet Café and saw Su Yang of the Red Skull version lying on the table pretending to sleep. "Boss, can I ask you a few questions?" The burly man stepped forward and whispered. Since someone came, then the Red Skull definitely couldn't continue to pretend to sleep, and he felt that the voice he heard was very familiar, so familiar that he already knew the identity of the person who came without looking up. Captain America, Steve Rogers. The Red Skull's tone was as if he saw an old friend. "What's wrong with you?" Hearing the fake Su Yang's tone, Steve frowned and said, "Have we seen it? Why do I have a feeling I haven't seen you in years? But I don't have you in my memory. Haha, in fact, I have been friends with the Captain of the United States for a long time, and it would be my honor if the Captain could feel familiar with me." Fake Su Yang said with a haha. "You probably didn't come from a distance, to ask me such a question?" Fake Su Yang said with a smile. "I want to ask, how did you kill the Red Skull?" After Steve finished speaking, he stared at the fake Su Yang deadly, hoping to judge the truth of the words from his expression. "Didn't I already tell Agent Mariah?" Due to the system's prompts, the Red Skull already knew everything after he entered Su Yang's body, and of course he knew what Su Yang used to prevaricate Mariah. Do you think anyone will believe the claim that the Red Skull was killed by the owner of the Internet Cafe because he collected protection fees? Steve directly voiced his doubts. "I want to know the truth." "The truth? This is the truth, believe it or not." The fake Su Yang did not give any good attitude when facing his old opponent. Steve could clearly feel that the fake Su Yang's attitude was not very friendly, but the Red Skull was still very meaningful to him. So no matter how much the fake Su Yang didn't want to talk about it, he still had to continue to ask. "I hope you can cooperate a little. The Red Skull is related to the Hydra organization." "Captain, it seems that you don't know the rules of our internet cafe," fake Su Yang said unhurriedly. "If you go online, I'm very welcome, but if you want to make trouble, then you will be thrown out." Huh. Steve was the first time he heard someone say they were going to throw him out, and he was about to try it. Mariah, who happened to come out of the game in the distance, saw the scene with a solemn atmosphere here, and quickly came over to ease the atmosphere. "What's the situation?" Mariah thought in her heart. "When I asked the boss today, I could feel that the boss obviously liked the Captain of the United States. Why did the Captain of the United States look so bad now?" "Haha, Captain, you are here. Come and introduce. This is our friend of S.H.I.E.L.D. Su Yang." Mariah pointed to Su Yang and said that she didn't want the Captain of the United States to mess around in the internet cafe. "Su Yang, this is the Captain of the United States I told you about today. You should know him." Mariah tried to lighten the atmosphere between the two. "Huh? What's the situation? Why did Captain America suddenly come to the internet cafe?" It turned out that Su Yang, who had just been in the S.H.I.E.L.D. Research Institute and chose to return to the internet cafe early because of some circumstances, happened to bump into a scene. The Red Skull, who was still looking very indifferent, changed his face and returned to normal randomly and said in a calm tone as much as possible, "Mariah, you take him into play. I still have some things to deal with." "Ah, oh yes." Hearing this, Mariah forcibly pulled Steve, who was about to say something, away from the scene point. Then the Red Skull came to the back of the bar, lying on the bar, and the out-of-body flew to Su Yang's side and said respectfully, "Why did the master come back so soon?" At the moment, when the Red Skull soul appeared, Steve seemed to sense something. He looked at the location of the Red Skull soul, and then vaguely felt the existence of Su Yang. He originally wanted to come over to find out, but Mariah pulled him desperately, and did not let him get close to Su Yang again. "Well, something happened that caused me to come back early." Su Yang explained the situation to the Red Skull. "Ding, an advanced quest that triggers an exploration mission, taking away the space gem without anyone noticing. Mission success reward, character level increased by 1 level, and the special section of the novel opened." It turned out that after Su Yang saw the space gem at that time, the system directly released a new task as Su Yang expected. I leaned on. I knew that after exploring, I would take it. Although Su Yang complained, he was still more curious about the reward of the task, because he was very curious about the special section of the novel. However, he had originally planned to take it directly using his soul state, and as soon as he approached the gem, a voice sounded throughout the institute. "Warning, warning, unknown energy body found around. Warning, warning, unknown energy body found around. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. For more free Falu novels, https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 041. Warning, warning, unknown energy body found around. Eileen, what's the situation?" Su Yang was frightened by the suddenly remembered voice and took a few steps back. Just after Su Yang retreated, the voice stopped. It seems that, although the soul body is invisible to most people's eyes, it can still be detected by some instruments, which is a bit distressing now. Su Yang sat in the middle of the researchers who were chaotic because of the warning sound, running around in a panic. Thinking about countermeasures suddenly, Su-Yang found that a group of researchers with a detection rod-like thing in their hands began to walk around the institute as if they were probing something. I'm leaning, this thing won't see me. Su-Yang could only slowly avoid them just in case. By the way, since the escape technique can be used in the soul state, then the invisibility technique should also be able to do it. Invisibility. Su-Yang quickly chose to use the stealth technique. I lean. I don't feel much change. Su-Yang looked at his body and couldn't feel the change at all. Can't it be used? Su-Yang approached the space gem again tentatively and was pleasantly surprised to find that this time there was no sound. But when Su-Yang was about to get the space gem, he suddenly stopped his hand. Not only that, but he was also constantly moving away from the cosmic cube. Host, what do you want to do? The system saw that Su-Yang, who was already about to succeed, actually stopped moving and continued to move, so he asked anxiously. Don't talk nonsense. Do you want more gems? Shut up if you want. It turned out that Su-Yang suddenly thought that a new gem would soon appear in the next plot. That's probably it. By the way, why is Captain America here? Su-Yang briefly said the reason for coming back and asked, I feel that the atmosphere of the two of you just now is very strange. However, what Su-Yang did not explain was why he chose not to take the Infinity Stones and chose to come back alone. Because he is not sure if he takes this Infinity Stone will cause a butterfly effect that will affect when and how the next Infinity Stone will come to Earth. Su-Yang felt that he knew that the development of the later plot was also an intangible advantage, so he temporarily decided not to rush to take this Infinity Stone for the time being, but to wait until Loki's arrival and take the two Infinity Stones together. He came to ask about me. He wanted to know how I died. Although the Red Skull did not understand Su-Yang's approach, in his opinion, there was no reason to let go of the things that were about to arrive, let alone the high-level things that shield protected by heavy protection. Is that all? Su-Yang thought about it. After all, it was normal for the old opponent to come to check the situation, so he didn't care about this matter anymore. By the way, this time I have not been completely unproductive in the past. Su-Yang smiled mysteriously after speaking. Is it? Red Skull is also a very smart person. He knows that his body was taken by S.H.I.E.L.D. and the place where Su-Yang went this time is likely to be where his body is. But that thing is for you at night. I still have something to explain to you. Okay, I'll go out and see how their game is. After Su-Yang finished speaking, he returned to his body. It's still comfortable in the body. Su-Yang stretched out and said, but why do I feel a little tired? Because you left the internet cafe after your first out-of-body experience. Your soul power consumption is a bit excessive. The system explains. Will it be like this? It seems that tonight I want to have a good time and refill my overconsumed soul power. Su-Yang thought as he came behind everyone who was playing the game. Eileen, Barney, can you not rush so fast? Don't know how to keep the formation? Clark roared. That's it, Barney, you go to the back. Stark has been stuck in the part of Anau's brother after beating the primary plot of the Grim Reaper, because not only does he have to fight, he also has to protect Anau from death. This is very difficult for Stark, who has relied on pistols to consume Void far away, because every time Anau will be implicated, because Void can't hit Stark, plus the main goal of Void will become Anau later, so every subsequent ending will become Anau and her brother die alone, leaving Stark alone. Although he no longer had to experience the pain of death, he was still stuck in this plot, and he planned to continue to recharge to see if Su-Yang could help him think of a way, but he turned his head and found that Su-Yang had been lying on the bar to sleep. He looked at Su-Yang's sweet sleep and imagined Su-Yang's terrifying appearance after being woken up, and finally he decided not to rush to play with death. He glanced back and found that Banner was still immersed in the game of death, and Mariah was taking Captain America to familiarize himself with the road to survival. He didn't want to waste time to bring new people. After thinking about it, he still planned to follow 3 young people to team up to brush zombies. Iron Man wants to team up with him to play the game. What young man do you think would refuse? Surely not. Clark and the 3 of them were excited to play games with Iron Man, and Iron Man was undoubtedly the dominant captain. They were having a good time, and no one noticed me when I came over. Suyang found that his sense of existence seemed to be a little low. Suyang, who no one paid attention to, could only look at their game experience, and Banner was currently stuck in the level of an house brother like Stark. However, although he has never been able to get through this level, he has not given up and has been trying various methods because he can clearly feel that if he wants to compete with the Hulk for control of his body, the strength of the soul is higher than the strength of the body. He didn't even use a gun. Suyang watched Banner in order to clear the level and felt that using a gun could not help him now resist the attack of Void, so he finally chose to continue using the knife. But in this case, Banner actually stuck in the first plot for a while, but the number of kills at any time increased. Banner's soul was enhanced, and he was much easier to operate. It's now. After successfully fending off Void's attack, Banner slashed at Void's mask with his backhand. This time must catch up. Originally, Banner had several chances to pass the level a few times before, but in the end, due to the unskilled operation, the attack was half a beat slower and was evaded, and this time the attack Banner has practiced countless times. Sure enough, with a click, Banner's knife slashed at the mask of Void. For more free Falu novels, https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 042. Sure enough, with a click, Banner's knife slashed at the mask of Void. Whoosh. With a wail, Banner finally got through the plot. Excited, Banner closed his eyes and enjoyed the soul-enhancing reward given to him by the system. He could clearly feel that the strength of his soul was approaching the strength of the Hulk's soul, which gave him unlimited motivation to find ways to attack the game of death. Suyang, who saw Banner continue to play the game with an excited look after enjoying it, did not bother to continue to pay attention, but instead turned around and came behind the Captain of the United States, who played the game for the first time. Oh, another person who did not choose to top up. Suyang saw the Captain of the United States on the road to survive, and I didn't know where to find a round card like a shield, and it was killed with a zombie. Mariah, who was holding a pistol in the distance, could only watch this side from afar, helping Steve with the gun in her hand. When he was in danger, she actually wanted to help Steve buy a gun, so that the speed of slaughter of the two would be much higher, but Steve refused on the grounds that he was used to using a shield, and she had no choice but to choose a pistol alone. This kill speed is too slow. After watching for a while, Suyang felt bored. Host, can I ask what you mean by wanting more? The system finally couldn't hold back and chose to ask this question. Are you finally willing to ask? Actually, I'm curious if you can check my memory? Suyang asked suspiciously, because in the novels he read, the system was generally omnipotent and omniscient. But his system currently seems to have a slight intellectual flaw. No, I can't view the host's memory without your permission. The system answered honestly. Is it? I think you should be very eager to get that cosmic cube, that is, the space gem, right? Suyang said slowly. Of course, that gem is important for my promotion. Then you should know that there is not just one such gemstone. Yes. So can you find the location of the rest of the gems? Suyang smiled mysteriously. I know where some gems are. Forget it, it's too laborious to explain to you, so let me allow you to see all the knowledge about Marvel in my head. Suyang didn't know where to start explaining, so he directly chose to let the system check it himself. However, the speed of the system is really fast, and in less than 1 minute, the system basically read all the information about Marvel in Suyang's mind. So, host, do you want to wait until Loki arrives on Earth with the Infinity Stones on his scepter and get 2 gems at once? The system asked. Of course, since we can get 2 at once, why can't we wait? Suyang said of course. In this case, ding, congratulations to the host for successfully completing the advanced mission of the exploration mission. Quest rewards, host level increased by 1 level and the special section of the novel is opened. After hearing Suyang's suggestion, The system actually directly issued the reward in advance, as if Su-Yang had successfully obtained the space gem. After hearing the system prompt, Su-Yang was also confused. Eileen, can I still be like this? Is this equivalent to me doing it with my mouth? However, Su-Yang was still very happy. After all, this was only good for him and not harmful. A special section for fiction? Show me what's going on. Su-Yang said to the system. Novels can even be called psychotropic drugs in Huaxia recently, because wonderful and good-looking novels can easily make people get out of control after getting into the pit. In the special section of the novel, not only can you read a variety of wonderful novels, but also let you enter the situation you want to enter, and enjoy the style from the other world from the first perspective of the protagonist. This is the system's introduction to the special section of the novel. Looking at the introduction, Su-Yang actually wanted to give it a try. What novels are there to read at the moment? Su-Yang couldn't wait to ask. At present, it is a classic Breaking the Sky. The system replied, but you can pay for it. What? Do you want me to pay for it? What the heck? Su-Yang also heard once that the thing from the system still needs to be paid for. Yes, pay for it. Once again, the system said affirmatively. I rely on, although I can accept the money, but your price is too expensive. Su-Yang clicked on the novel mall and saw the price inside. Perfect world, $100W. Download continent, $100 USD. Su-Yang saw that the popular novels that almost everyone knew in the mall all required $100 US dollars to buy, and even the novels of the lower level needed up to $50 US dollars to buy. And the lower level cannot be bought, even if it is given away for nothing. Su-Yang will not choose to expand these into the novel section of his internet cafe, because there is no meaning. Damn, I'll try the effect first. If I can, I'll buy it all. Anyway, I don't have much money. Su-Yang looked at a few people who were concentrating on playing games, but they have a lot of money, and although the Marvel world is very good in terms of special effects, because of the development of technology, they should not have seen the plot of the novel. Besides, even if your special effects are good, it's not as good as being directly there. After a simple analysis, Su-Yang basically judged that the novel could definitely bring him more benefits. Su-Yang was idle anyway, and had nothing to do, so he simply opened a computer next to him, and wanted to try the effect first. Let's go. Su-Yang thought silently in his heart. Sure enough, voices began to sound in his ears. Zhao Yan, the power of fighting, 3 stages. Level, low. 3 paragraphs. Sure enough, as I expected, this genius is standing still in place again this year. Hey, this waste really lost the face of the family. If it weren't for the patriarch being his father, this kind of waste would have been driven out of the family long ago, leaving it to fend for itself. How could he have the opportunity to stay in the family and eat and drink for nothing? Su-Yang's ears remembered such a merciless mocking voice. Su-Yang had now arrived in a square in another world, surrounded by people from the Zhao family. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. For more free Falu novels, https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny. Chapter 044. Vindictive? Banner carefully reviewed his feelings when he was practicing as Zhao Yan and said, quick, Tony, go and call someone who still has internet time. I need to verify something. Stark saw Banner's serious expression and knew that this matter was very important, so he also chose to call Captain America over without hesitation, because everyone present except Su-Yang, the boss, had the most time left on the internet. Steve, Stark shouted several times in a row before calling out the excited Captain of the United States. Steve looked at Stark with an unhappy look and said, what are you going to do? Don't you see that I'm busy? We need your help with something very important. Stark remembered Banner's serious expression and could only bite the bullet. How important can it be? Can't wait until I'm done playing the game. I know I only have 4 hours online. Steve really didn't want to ride Stark. We just need your online time to help. This matter is related to the security and future of our country. Stark didn't care. He knew that Steve's heart for justice was strong. As long as it was related to the security of the country or the safety of the people, he would definitely go point. Sure enough, Steve heard that the matter was so serious, and looking at Stark's expression did not look like a lie. Even if he was obsessed with the road to survive, he had to let go for a while. Let's go. What the hell is going on with Banner? Steve asked, coming over. Banner didn't speak first, but instead gave Stark a look in his eyes to take Barney away. Barney, come here, I'll give you something. After all, it was an old friend. Stark instantly understood the meaning of Banner's eyes, took Barney to the side, and then sent him away without knowing what he took out of his body, and gave it to Barney. Okay, now let's talk about what can affect the security and future of the country. Steve asked directly. After seeing Stark return. Stark was actually a little embarrassed after hearing Steve's words, but just as he was about to explain something, what Banner said shocked him again. Indeed, this matter is likely to be related to the future of the country. Banner paused and continued. After you enter the world of fiction, pay special attention to the stage when the protagonist is cultivating, and we will talk about it only after you have consciously tried it. Is it really that serious? Stark muttered. Then the three of them once again entered the world of Dupio. Hey, Barney just followed Stark and them over? Clark asked curiously. Just now there was a new section in the Internet Café. It seems to be called the special section of novels, and then they have no time to go online. Ask me to use my time to experience it. Barney kept playing with the little things Stark had given him. Fiction section? David thought for a while, and continued to ask, then do you have any special feelings? Feeling? Forehead. Barney recalled and said, it felt like I was in that world, even the mood and psychological changes. There is another one, is that there are many beautiful women there. Barney added. David, what did you think of? Clark asked when he saw David's thoughtful look. David said hesitantly, I think it's definitely not that simple. Do you remember the last time we asked the boss if he could bring out the technology in the Grim Reaper game? Of course I remember, but we can't even touch the door now. Clark was distressed. He thought that after he could bring out the technology, he would reach the peak of his life, but now he has not even succeeded in the first step. If games can be, then I think novels can also be. David turned to Barney again and said, think about the characteristics of that novel. It should be mentioned in the introduction. I want to think. Barney tried his best to recall. It seems that I felt a very special power inside, although this power was only fleeting, but I could also feel powerful at that time, and I heard people inside say that this power can be obtained by cultivating by themselves, not the kind of relying on the outside world. Strength. David's eyes emitted a strong light. Then the key to the problem should be in this power. I believe we should have the opportunity to cultivate that mysterious power through this novel. Yes, I guess too. That's why they took Barney, right? They want to study that force themselves. Clark also said excitedly. Don't get excited. We can only wait to try it tomorrow. Since that novel can share internet time, then tomorrow the three of us will have 12 hours combined. David was particularly excited at the thought that he could also be called a superhero-like character, knowing that he was a seriously ill person some time ago, and as a result, after meeting Su Yang's internet cafe, his life took a 180-degree turn. It's really a miracle internet cafe that is not faulty with the name. David sighed. Do you feel it? After coming out, Banner asked seriously. The shock on Steve's face hadn't completely dissipated. Of course. After I paid special attention this time, I probably know what you want to say. Do you want to say that we can learn from this Zio Yan's cultivation method and then cultivate the fighting key ourselves? Stark said speculatively. Yes. Banner said excitedly. That's what I thought. But I have a request. I don't think you want this fighting spirit to leak out. You should know that if this thing leaks out, it will cause unpredictable danger to the whole world. Steve glanced at Mariah after speaking. So I think we should try to control this thing in our own hands. Do you mean not to tell S.H.I.E.L.D.? Banner whispered. I don't have any opinions, and I also think that the less people know about this thing, the better. Stark agreed. But don't forget what the essence is here. Banner looked at Su Yang, who was still reading the novel, and said, "This is an internet cafe. If nothing else, let's just say that the three young people just now may have access to it. How about we discuss with the boss and give this novel to only the three of us?" Steve went on to say, "I think he'll know the time." What? Banner and Stark looked at Steve at the same time. "Eileen, you want to find death? Don't pull us." For more free Flu novels, https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 045. What? Banner and Stark looked at Steve at the same time. "Eileen, you want to find death? Don't pull us." Steve frowned and looked at the two. "Is he so terrible?" Banner, "You can become the Hulk." No, if you don't provoke him, then he is indeed not scary at all, and even very gentle. Although Banner and they had not seen Soo-Yang's strength, he clearly remembered that he was easily beaten back to his original form after transforming into the Hulk for the first time. If that doesn't work, we can only get this thing out first and see how feasible it is. Steve finally settled on point. Then the three of them went to feel the cultivation again. Whoa, this feels so cool. After Soo-Yang took off his helmet, he sighed. "When I used to read the novel, I thought that it would be nice if I could also go in, but I didn't expect that. Now it really gave me a chance, and it is still the feeling of the protagonist. It's really cool." "Hey, the three of them are reading novels too?" Soo-Yang looked at Mariah, who was trying to play death, and said, "It seems that the internet cafe should be a few of them in the near future." "Hey, system, when will you develop a new game?" Soo-Yang looked at the game menu with only 2 games and said, "Such as what? A popular game? It's being remodeled." Time passed rapidly in such a quiet atmosphere. "Phew, boss, let's go first. See you tomorrow." After reading the novel, the three people couldn't wait to leave. It was the first time that Soo-Yang saw them leave without a trace of nostalgia. Of course, they were in a hurry, and the three of them were in a hurry to go back and try the cultivation of fighting Ki. And Mariah had left early because of Nick's call, and the internet time had not yet run out. "The weather is so nice outside. Do you want to temporarily close the door today and go out for a walk?" Soo-Yang thought as he looked at the empty internet cafe. "Hey, it seems like you can hide here." But just as he was about to go out, he noticed a small head probing his head from outside the internet cafe. "Shh, big brother, there are bad people outside to arrest me. Can I hide from you?" A little girl looked at Soo-Yang and said. Soo-Yang looked at a little girl with pink and jade talking to him with her big watery eyes on her delicate little red face. How could he refuse? As soon as the little girl saw that Soo-Yang did not refuse, she immediately entered the internet cafe and ran behind the bar to hide. After a while, a voice came from outside the internet cafe. "Are you sure Jess is running this way?" "Yes, I saw it. I wonder why I can't see the figure now." There were 2 men outside who seemed to be looking for a little girl in an internet cafe. "Hey, there's an internet cafe here. Do you say it's going to be in here?" "I don't know. Let's go in and take a look." The 2 men walked into the internet cafe. "I depend. Is this internet cafe business so bad?" It was the first time I saw an internet cafe with no one in the afternoon. One of them complained. "Shut up. Hello boss, did you just see a little girl come in?" The other man said politely. Soo-Yang looked at Jess, who was hiding behind the bar, and looking at him pitifully, hesitated or chose to shake his head. "No. Hello boss, my name is Frank. This is Epri. The little girl we are looking for is very important. Can I trouble you to hand her over?" Frank said more politely. "I really don't know where the little girl you are talking about is." Soo-Yang still didn't say where the little girl was. Jess saw that Soo-Yang did not say her position, and actually thanked Soo-Yang with his small hand gratefully. "No, Jess is here. I can feel a trace of her breath," Effie said suddenly, "and this internet cafe seems to be strange. Just when I was outside, I felt that it was like a black hole that could swallow up all my explorations. I originally thought it was an illusion. I didn't expect that after I came in, I wouldn't be able to detect any information outside." Avery continued. "Why did the eldest brother say so much? Let's just forcibly take Jess away. I don't believe he can stop the 2 of us." "Can't find out." Frank, who was still a little anxious in his heart, was a little relieved. Ascertain? After hearing Afra's words, Soo-Yang said, "What are you?" You don't need to know who we are, but that little girl is dangerous, and I hope you can hand it over to us." When Frank heard that this internet cafe could be isolated from detection, he changed his mind to fight quickly, but instead wanted to take the little girl away as little as possible. Su Yang beckoned to the little girl to signal her to come out, and then held the little girl's hand and said to the two, "She is indeed here, but it is too exaggerated for you to say that she is dangerous. How do I know if you guys are human traffickers? Jess, do you know them?" Jess shook his head to indicate that he didn't know. "Jess, obedient, you know that the professor is worried about you, so he asked us to take you back to the academy." Frank said softly to Jess, "I don't know you at all." Jess looked at the two people with a scared look and said, still hiding behind Su Yang's back and holding Su Yang's hand, "You see, she doesn't want to go back, or do you want her to stay with me for a while?" Su Yang said, a little distressed. Just when several people were deadlocked, there was a voice outside. "Find Jess quickly, we can't let those two find it first, otherwise the professor will kill us." As soon as this voice came out, the expression on Frank's face, who was originally smiling and polite, changed instantly. "I originally wanted to take her away and spare your life. Sure enough, you two are human traffickers." In the instant after hearing the voice, Su Yang also reacted that the two people on the other side were not called by some professor to take the little girl back to the academy. It should be that the enemy, who does not know where to get the news, wants to take the little girl away one step ahead. But today you met me, and you should be unlucky, just because I'm bored and have nothing to do now. Su Yang suddenly smiled. "I think you should be some kind of mutants, right? Huh? You actually know mutants?" Frank sneered. "Then I can't keep you even more. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. For more free Falu novels, https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 046. Frank knew that Eppa's ability was a detective type and basically had no combat power, but he looked at Su Yang, who was thin, and he should be enough alone. "It is your honor that you are fortunate enough to die at the hands of my Frank," Frank said arrogantly, turned to ashes. After saying that, a blue flame appeared out of thin air in front of Frank and then soared, and the entire internet cafe began to become very hot. If anything was hit head on by this blue flame, no matter what it was, it would instantly turn into nothing. Coming. Frank's big brother's trick blue demon. Effrey took several steps back and could still feel the heat wave hit. You must know that this move is difficult for even a mutant of the same level to be able to follow, not to mention that brother Frank is still a mutant with a level of beta. No wonder there is a saying circulating on the internet that the villain dies of talking too much. You really talk a lot. Su Yang looked at Frank, who had just been polite, and his true appearance after the mask was torn was really ugly. He directly waved his hand at the flames, and then the blue flames that were still hot just now seemed to be blown out, and there was not even a trace of Mars left. How is this possible? Frank looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. "I don't believe it." Frank once again unleashed his own flames, but this time he turned into flames all his own. Blue flames surrounded Frank, as if putting a flame coat on him. Eileen, standing behind Frank, Eppery couldn't stand the heat, and finally he could only choose to flee outside the internet cafe. Just the moment the door of the internet cafe opened, 3 people felt the breath of this heat wave. Wait, it's the direction we just came from, with the breath of a new beta level mutant, the Burning Man. One of them closed his eyes, felt it, and then said, "What? Take us over." Did the other squads meet them? "Hopefully, it's still in time," one of the women said. On the internet cafe side, Su Yang looked at Frank, who had turned into a Burning Man, and said, "Your ability looks like Ace's, but your flame is blue and looks a little bad." "What? I'll let you feel whether I can do it or not." Frank's hands began to condense strong flames. Blue cannon. The blue light instantly lit up the originally dim internet cafe, and a violent high temperature explosion gushed out like a wave. The moisture in the air evaporated at an incredible rate, and the hot heat was squeezed to a whole new height by the momentum between the two people. To say you can't is not to do it. Since Jess was behind Su Yang, it was impossible for him to dodge the attack. Although the imposing blue cannon was rapidly approaching Su-Yang, he hoped to see the panicked Frank on Su-Yang's face disappointed. Because Su-Yang's face was very calm from beginning to end, it made Frank feel as if he was playing like a child alone. "I'll make you regret it," Frank yelled. Rumble. The temperature and speed of the already hot blue cannon rose another level, and I saw that the distance between it and Su-Yang was only an instant point facing the blue cannon that was close at hand. Su-Yang finally moved point. I saw Su-Yang slowly stretching out a hand to hold the fierce blue cannon, and then Su-Yang, who was about to destroy the blue cannon with a force, suddenly had a strange expression on his face point because Su-Yang heard the system's prompt tone. Ding, energy absorption. Haha, I can't even say anything now. I see how long you can resist. Frank saw that Su-Yang, who had just taunted him, didn't he say a word now, so he launched his attack harder. Ding, the energy is full. Now start feeding back to the host. Su-Yang suddenly felt a strong heat flow injected into his body, as if he was killing monsters while playing a game, but this heat flow was much stronger. Sure enough, Su-Yang saw that after his original level was high, the experience bar that he never moved much when killing monsters suddenly began to increase slowly. Although it is slow, it is also a speed visible to the naked eye. I rely on, can this force still give me a better experience? Originally, Su-Yang, who saw that the little girl was very similar to his sister, wanted to simply protect him a little, but he didn't expect to find this feature at all. Haha, then I will have a new way to upgrade in the future. It seems that I can't kill him yet, I still have to pretend. Su-Yang's brain began to turn rapidly. Suddenly, Su-Yang, who had been standing firmly in place, began to slowly retreat, as if he couldn't support it. Haha, can't this be supported? Frank, who had been ineffective, wanted to cancel the blue artillery, but now seeing that Su-Yang was about to die, he worked harder to maintain the blue artillery. Su-Yang saw that the speed of his experience increase actually had a small improvement, and he pretended to be even more energetic. Such a strange phenomenon happened in front of Jess's eyes. What is this big brother doing? Obviously, he still has spare strength. Why is he so unbearable? Jess didn't understand Su-Yang's approach, because she had telepathic type abilities, and she could clearly feel that Su-Yang was intentional, and even happy. The breath of the Burning Man came out here just now, but now it's gone. Eileen, why is she here? Hiding in the corner. Eppery carefully hid his breath. He didn't want to be caught by these three, otherwise he would die a miserable death. He slowly stepped back. Brother Frank, little brother, I will go first, good luck. Although Eppery thinks that Frank is very strong, if he meets that woman, he is probably not an opponent at all, especially now that there is a tricky object in the internet cafe. He does not think that Frank can escape here alive. There's only one internet cafe here, so let's go in and take a look. Just as the three of them wanted to push open the door of the internet cafe and enter, suddenly, the door of the internet cafe opened automatically, and then Frank flew out of the internet cafe. Burning Man. The man who had just detected the breath shouted. What? The only woman instantly ran to the vicinity of Frank, who fell to the ground, and saw Frank's tragic situation. How so? What came into her eyes, and could hardly see the human appearance clearly, because she saw it as if it were an old man in his 80s, or an old man as thin as bone. Phoenix Woman. Please collect flowers for awarding evaluation. Thank you for your support. For more free Flu novels, https discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 047. Phoenix Woman. Su-Yang, who led Jess to the door of the internet cafe, looked at the woman squatting next to Frank and said, "Who are you? Hurry up and let go of Jess." The Phoenix girl saw that Su-Yang standing at the door was actually holding Jess. She thought that Su-Yang was also with the Burning Man, so the Phoenix girl immediately stood up and took a fighting posture. Sisterkin, Big Brother is a good person. It was he who defeated the bad guy and saved me. When Jess saw the Phoenix girl, he pulled Su-Yang and ran over, and then threw himself into the Phoenix woman's arms. Is it? Thank you. Really, we really don't know what to do if something happens to Jess. The Phoenix girl still trusted Jess's judgment, because she herself could vaguely feel that Su-Yang had no malice towards them. Jess, don't run around next time. I almost had an accident this time, and I'll tell the professor when I go back like this. The Phoenix woman turned her head and reprimanded, but she saw Jess's leg and was anxious. Are you injured? How so? Huh. Only then did Soo-Yang notice that Jess actually had an injury on his leg. Show me. Soo-Yang immediately squatted to check the wound on Jess's leg, and then created a small space, surrounded the palm, and then aimed the space at Jess's wound. Phoenix girl and Jess watched with amazement as the wound joined and remained intact. You're a mutant too? The Phoenix girl said in surprise. Mutants? Soo-Yang pointed to himself and shook his head with a smile. I am not. Well, it should be fine. Wow, big brother, you are so good. Are you a doctor? Jess hugged Soo-Yang excitedly and kissed him. Soo-Yang was infected by Jess's happiness. He touched Jess's little nose and said, I'm not only a doctor, I'm also a veterinarian, specializing in treating disobedient children like you. Huh? Aren't veterinarians healing animals? Jess's eyes were full of doubt. Humans are animals. Soo-Yang made it clear that he was bullying others, and the little girl didn't understand and was talking nonsense. The three people next to them were speechless when they saw Soo-Yang deceive the little girl with a serious face. Jess, we should go back. The professor is still waiting for us. The Phoenix girl couldn't stand it and finally came up and interrupted. Okay. Jess said reluctantly, but she knew that she had worried many people this time, and she finally said to Soo-Yang, Big brother, can I come to you to play in the future? Soo-Yang looked at the cute little lolly and said, of course. After speaking, Soo-Yang smiled at the Phoenix girl again. Of course, you are also welcome, beautiful Miskin. Jess looked at Soo-Yang and then at the Phoenix woman. Her little eyes rolled and pulled the Phoenix woman's hand and said pitifully, Sister Kin will follow me next time, right? Otherwise who will protect me? The Phoenix girl looked at Soo-Yang's handsome face and said a little shyly, thank you. Soo-Yang actually didn't understand why the Phoenix girl was shy, because the sentence he suddenly added just suddenly thought that the Phoenix power that the Phoenix woman possessed seemed to be very powerful. How could Soo-Yang, who had just enjoyed the refreshing feeling brought by absorbing energy, let go of the strong and info battery of the Phoenix woman? But he had just sucked one and was still a little full. Looking at the few Phoenix women who were far away, Soo-Yang, who had planned to go out, was not in the mood to continue wandering, so he had to silently return to the Internet Cafe. By the way, look how things are over there. I remember Loki seems to have come here one night recently. Soo-Yang opened the True Eye picture. It turned out that when Soo-Yang was about to get the cosmic Rubik's Cube, although he chose to stop, he still placed a True Eye so that the cosmic Rubik's Cube was always in his field of vision. By the way, there is no one anyway now. Call the Red Skull out. As soon as Soo-Yang finished speaking, a corpse of a red skull appeared on the ground. It was Soo-Yang who brought it out casually when he left the institute, so not long after he returned, Mariah was called back by Nick. Soo-Yang took out a pill-like thing and stuffed it into the red skull's mouth. I don't know what the honorable master commands. The red skull woke up and knelt down on one knee and said, System, this True Eye picture Red Skull should be able to see it as my little brother. Of course. That'll do. Soo-Yang pointed to the picture of the True Eye and said to the Red Skull, you should be familiar with this thing. Of course, it belonged to me for a while. I'll give you a mission now. Soo-Yang paused and then said, I want you to return to Hydra and then use their power to get this thing for me, which should not be difficult for you. The Red Skull said hesitantly, back to the master. In fact, I and Hydra are only cooperative relations. I want to go back easily, but this thing is hidden in S.H.I.E.L.D. and I can't get it in a short time, but I will try my best. No, you misunderstood. I'm not letting you go now. I can tell you in advance where this thing will appear at what time and where, so that you should not be difficult. Soo-Yang then explained to the Red Skull in detail the development of the following things. What? Alien invasion? Red Skull said in shock. Even the Red Skull, who has lived for so long, has never heard of an alien invasion. However, the Red Skull is loyal to Soo-Yang because of the depths of his soul, so even if what Soo-Yang said is ridiculous, he will choose to believe it. It's just an alien invasion. As long as you follow me, it is possible for us to invade others in the future. What's the fuss? Soo-Yang definitely wanted to go out and take a look. Okay, you go. As for what reason to use when returning to Hydra to make them believe you again, it's up to you. Su Yang waved his hand and sent the Red Skull away. Yes, Master. The Red Skull got up and left the Internet Cafe. The Red Skull, who was about to disappear into the dark night, turned to look in the direction of the Internet Cafe, and he thought in his heart, this master is also too powerful. He can actually predict the future, and it is so detailed. It seems that it is a very good choice to follow him. The Red Skull was determined not to disappoint Su Yang, and randomly turned around and completely disappeared into the night. Can he do it? The system asked suddenly. Don't worry, at that time, an injured Black Widow is on it. I believe he can still solve it, plus the teleportation skill. He can definitely leave safely. Su Yang continued. The reason why it's so troublesome is not that you have temporarily issued me a task again. Otherwise, I can bring you the 2 gems as soon as Loki comes out. Okay. Su Yang said slightly excitedly. Kneel for subscription. Favorite evaluation reward was thank you guys for more free Falu novels. https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 048. The reason why it is so troublesome now, TMs, is not that you have temporarily issued me a task again. Otherwise, the first time Loki came out, I would have already been able to bring you back the 2 gems. Okay. Su Yang said slightly excitedly. The system heard Su Yang's complaint and stopped talking. It turned out that after the system checked Su Yang's memory, the part of the Cherita Star invasion in the memory perfectly attracted the attention of the system, and the system was very interested in Cherita's technology. At that time, it issued a task to Su Yang. Ding, congratulations to the host for triggering the research mission, studying the structure of the Cherita Starman. Mission requirements. Collect a variety of Cherita Starman and Cherita's weapons. Mission supplement. The more you collect, the more rewards will be. Come on, oh boy. Eileen, your sudden mission completely disrupted my plan. At that time, Su Yang actually wanted to refuse directly, because compared to the people of Cherita, the charm of the Infinity Stones was obviously greater. However, at that time, in order to be able to let Su Yang accept this new task, the system only modified the next task supplement in an instant. Mission supplement. Reward the host with a life after completing the mission. Eileen, you are a naked temptation. But this temptation hit Su Yang's dead hole, because one more life is what everyone wants to have. Su Yang couldn't only frantically recall the plot in Avengers 1 in his mind, hoping to find a perfect solution to achieve the purpose of getting to Infinity Stones and completing the collection mission of Cherita Point. Finally, when he came out of the research institute, he saw the body of the Red Skull, and his eyes lit up when he thought of this idea. Point, to put it simply, when the time comes, he will attract everyone's attention. And then let the Red Skull ambush on the roof of the building where Black Widow uses Loki's scepter to close a spatial passage formed by the space gems, and then the moment Black Widow strikes, he takes away 2 more gems. Su Yang was even worried that the Red Skull could not escape from the scene, so he went to discuss with the system, and during this mission, let the Red Skull get permission to choose Su Yang's 2 special skills to use. In this way, Su Yang can be 80% sure that he can complete 2 tasks at the same time. By the way, I remember I think I had another random lottery. Su Yang suddenly remembered that the exploration task he completed today seemed to reward him with a random lottery. System, I'm going to use a random lottery. In a random lottery. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a special prop, Banshee Veil. With a series of prompt sounds from the system, Su Yang obtained the Banshee Veil. Banshee Veil. Su Yang looked at his item panel. Is the Banshee Veil the same as the Banshee Veil in League of Legends? Su Yang opened the attributes of the Banshee Veil. Banshee Veil. Gain a spell shield that can withstand enemy skills once. If you don't take damage from the hero for 40 seconds, the shield will refresh. This is the attribute that Su Yang cares about the most, and as for the rest, for him in the real world, the effect is too small. By the way, you just absorbed so much energy, there should be some good things coming out. Su Yang thought that the energy that the system fed back to him just now must be only a small part, and this small part can provide himself with so much experience. You can imagine how much energy the system absorbs. Ding, reward the host with a new game unlocked. The system's answer was very direct, so direct that it made Su Yang excited. It's actually a new game unlocked. Su Yang stood up excitedly. He couldn't wait to click on the game menu of the system panel, and sure enough, he found a brand new icon. His gaze stayed on the introduction of the game, and Su Yang's eyes were instantly lit up. League of Legends. The game that allows the wind of competition to sweep across the world. It's actually the game League of Legends. Looking at the familiar game icon, Su Yang's eyes emitted a strong light. You must know that League of Legends has been gone for almost 8 years since the beginning, although there are other online games born in the middle, but they are only a temporary scenery. And finally, the Internet Café is still occupied by League of Legends. It can be said that this game accompanies the youth of the vast majority of people, especially for internet addicts like Su Yang. This is an indelible memory. He originally thought that he could have the game League of Legends when he came to the Marvel world, which is also high-tech or even more high-tech, but unfortunately there is no such game here. Before crossing, he often went to internet cafes to see that the vast majority of people were immersed in the days of ranking points, and there would even be some people standing and waiting for people to get off the plane just to play the game for a while. But Su Yang, who was excited, suddenly saw that this game had a unique lock-like logo on the game icon. Yes, this game is not directly open like the other two games this popular competitive game actually requires Su Yang to unlock with money, and the cost is as high as $100 US. Eileen, UTM robbed it. Su Yang saw the high price and the whole person was not good. He originally thought that he could revisit the game, but now he was directly defeated by money. Hey, why is the system so expensive? Su Yang asked excitedly. Ding, since this open game is specially rewarded due to energy absorption, not for completing tasks, there will be some special restrictions. The system really gives an explanation. Your restriction is too special. Su Yang tried to discuss, or, let's discuss, take out a loan or something. Su Yang feels that, as long as you get this game out first, then the money is a good solution. I believe that this game will definitely make Stark and Banner crazy. As long as they are crazy, isn't it very simple to get some money on Stark? Since the host has been doing particularly well recently, he agreed to take out the loan, but only with a deposit first. The system agreed to Su Yang's suggestion very humanely. Deposit? What do you mean? Su Yang first said suspiciously. His face changed randomly, and he immediately opened the cash register, and sure enough, all the money in it was gone. Su Yang originally wanted to get angry, but saw that the lock on the League of Legends icon in the game menu was gone, which meant that the game was ready to play, and Su Yang finally chose to compromise. This is good, just a little money, and instantly poor and white. Su Yang shook his head helplessly. Now I can only hope that they enter the pit. I believe that, as long as they enter this pit, kneel. For subscription favorite evaluation reward flowers. Thank you, guys. For more free Falu novels, https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 049. Now I can only hope that they enter the pit. I believe that, as long as they enter this pit, Sure enough, the system did not disappoint him. Just the cost of game registration. The system gives a high price of $5 US. However, if you rely on the registration fee alone, how many people will fill this hole in the cost of buying games? Just as Su Yang was burying his head and complaining, the system's prompt tone sounded again. Warm reminder that the game will still retain the original mall section and maintain a profit 55 cents model with the host. Su Yang, who was originally a little depressed, instantly raised his head and sighed. It's really worthy of being a black businessman. Su Yang could already imagine the scene of everyone competing to buy skins and heroes in the future. Is this the beginning? Suddenly, the corner of Su Yang's mouth set off a strange amplitude, and randomly he clicked the true eye picture again. How bad is the situation? Nick asked Carlson. Sir, the worst thing is that the situation is not clear. Carlson replied. Drive Selvig detected the cosmic cube 4 hours ago and began to automatically emit a stream of energy. Carlson then immediately reported to Nick. Automatic? What level has the energy reached now? Nick asked. It's still climbing, and because the doctor can't close, we started to evacuate all staff. So how is the evacuation now? It will take some time. Doctor, how is it now? As soon as Nick came in, he said to Dr. Selvig, who was constantly fiddling with the machine and doing the tests. Director, the current cosmic cube is very naughty. I don't know why it has been exuding an energy. This energy has a great impact on our research. I need to figure out the principle. Selvig said to Nick while fiddling with the instrument. Where is Agent Barton? Nick asked. Doctor. Selvig pointed to the elevated shelf behind him and said, the eagle, of course, is in his nest. Agent Barton, tell me about the situation. Nick said indifferently, have you seen anyone contact the cosmic cube? Agent Barton shook his head and said, no, I didn't see anyone coming in and out. The only strange thing is that during the day today, an unknown energy body was detected not far from the cosmic cube, and later the researchers gave the shape map of the unknown energy body, which looked a lot like a person. However, then we conducted a complete test of the entire research institute and did not detect the existence of that energy body, and then we found a strange place. That is, the body of the Red Skull and the human sexual volume seemed to disappear at the same time. What? Did you just say that the Red Skull corpse disappeared at the same time as that energy body? Nick's face began to change a little. What's wrong with the director? What did you come up with? It was the first time Barton had seen such an expression from the chief. It's nothing. I hope I think wrong. If this situation is related to him, then we will be in great trouble. Nick said with some concern. Him? What people? Barton heard the chief mention a person, and he was curious about who this person was. How could there be so much energy that the chief said it was a big trouble? Doctor. The energy began to surge. Just as the two were talking, a researcher started shouting. Suddenly, the entire base began to vibrate, and the cosmic cube in front of Hawkeye and Nick also began to emit azure blue light intermittently. The energy of the cosmic cube increased, causing the cosmic cube to become more and more unstable, and the frequency of azure light began to increase. As the azure blue energy continued to emanate, the shaking amplitude of the entire base began to increase, and in the end, it was as if an earthquake was coming. The azure blue energy continued to emanate, slowly forming a small energy vortex centered on the cosmic cube above the instrument. Suddenly, an energy beam was emitted from the energy vortex of azure light, and then a large hole like a portal opened. The portal didn't last long, just a few seconds, and then it spread some azure blue but harmless energy in all directions like an explosion. With the disappearance of these energies, a person who was squatting on the ground with some azure energy wrapped around his body slowly stood up with the scepter in his hand. This person was Loki. Seeing Loki's appearance, everyone was taken aback, and then all the guards pointed their guns at the uninvited guest. The agents who were still staying at the institute slowly approached Loki, who was still a little panting, holding their guns. Sir, please put down the spear in your hand, Nick in the distance said to Loki. In response, Loki raised the scepter in his hand and fired an energy attack at Nick. If it hadn't been for Hawkeye next to Nick who pounced on him and saved his life, Nick might have cooled. Eileen, the agents actually took the initiative to make a move on our chief when they saw this. Can this be tolerated? Several agents shot directly to shoot Loki. But Loki is also a god, although his body is a little worse than in combat, but ordinary bullets can still resist. Sure enough, Loki simply ignored the bullets fired at him and rushed directly to the agents with his flesh. Where have the agents seen this kind of rush in the flesh? And they were quickly taken down by Loki. Soon Loki destroyed half of the institute with his own power. It seems that what I did a few days ago did not affect the development of the plot later. Su-Yang looked at the picture displayed in the relay screen, and his heart finally relaxed. What he is most afraid of is that his patronage of the institute will affect the development of the subsequent plot, and now it seems that it is not, which is a good thing, so that basically the plan he made has been completed by more than half. Yes, he is right. The portal will reach a critical state in 2 minutes, at which time there will be an explosion, and then we will be crushed under the 30-meter rock. Su-Yang continued to look at the relay picture with interest, as if watching a movie again. The next thing that was not surprising was that due to the time limit, Hawkeye gave the lone Nick a shot, took the box containing the cosmic cube and left the research institute. It's been a really fulfilling day, but then I'll just have to wait. Soo-Yang also lost the plot. To continue to watch the plot, just wait for the invasion of the Cherita Starman, and then start doing 2 tasks at the same time. Loki, don't let me down. I've been waiting for you for a long time. Soo-Yang went to rest with anticipation. Neil for subscription. Favorite evaluation reward floor was thank you guys for more free Falu novels. https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny chapter 050. Loki, don't let me down. I've been waiting for you for a long time. Soo-Yang went to rest with anticipation. Early the next morning. Hey, boss, Soo gets up so late every time. Do you say we should call him early next time to ask him to get up and open the door? Stark, who was waiting at the door of the internet cafe, suddenly said this. If you want to fight, call yourself. Don't drag us into the water. Anyway, I know that I will be very unhappy after being called to wake up. Stark imagined the scene after Soo-Yang was called up by himself, shook his head in horror, and quickly threw this idea of death away from him. I depend. Why are you so early every day? Soo-Yang opened the door and saw several strong men gathered around the door of his internet cafe again. Leo TZU was an internet cafe owner. Originally he was free to open the door whenever he wanted, but he gave me the feeling that I was at work. This is the wrong boss, you said. How can you make money with any job? Clark next to him. Hearing this, Soo-Yang pointed at them. Tell me, which one of the people present is poorer than me? Yes. Clark looked around and found that it seemed to be the case. The 3 of them were rich second generation, although they were not very rich, but they were also very rich. Otherwise they would not be soaking in Soo-Yang's sky-high internet cafe every day. I should be poorer than you. At this time, Steve stood up and spoke. We came to surf the internet, not to be poor. Go in and play games. Why are you talking about this? The richest people present came out to relieve the siege. Everyone walked into the internet cafe together. Stark, do you know how Nick is doing? I don't know. What can they do? Listening to Soo-Yang's headless and brainless sudden question, Stark looked a little dazed. Well, it seems that the plot has not changed at all, and S.H.I.E.L.D. will officially launch the Avengers program next to tell them the situation. Soo-Yang once again made sure that the plot had not changed, and then completely let go of his heart. Hey, you guys, look like there's a new game in the game menu. While Banner was still talking, Barney's exclamation suddenly rang out. This is League of Legends? Barney stared at the computer screen, then looked curiously at the game icon and said. When everyone heard this, they quickly looked at Soo-Yang in the direction of the bar. Found out so quickly? I was going to wait and surprise you. The corner of Soo-Yang's mouth in the bar set off a treacherous arc. Guys, are you interested in entering the pit? Soo-Yang deliberately raised his voice by several decibels, and his handsome face had a smile that only a profiteer had. And this smile made everyone, except the captain of the United States, shiver, knowing that the profiteer Soo-Yang appeared again into the pit. Although everyone felt a hint of ill will in Soo-Yang's smile, every time Soo-Yang took out something new, it would make them feel worthwhile. So everyone was still curious and looking forward to Soo-Yang's explanation of the new game. Don't understand? Never mind. Soo-Yang had already prepared for this. He put his hand on a computer, and then a series of information appeared on the computer screen. You guys watch slowly. Game. League of Legends. It costs $5W to sign up for a game account. I rely on, boss, your efforts to grab money are getting bigger and bigger. Banner looked at the increasingly expensive registration fees. His face was going to rot. After all, if it went on like this, his deposit would become zero, and eating in the future would be a problem. Not to mention Banner, even Clark and David and Barney, the 3 rich second generations, are almost unbearable. Of all the people present, only Stark is still so breezy when faced with this price. If it's too expensive, then don't play it. Soo-Yang spread his hands calmly, looking indifferent. Anyway, I don't lose the money of a few of you poor, right, Tony? After speaking, Soo-Yang also winked at Stark. Okay, I'll treat you this time. $300,000 for 6 people, right? Stark looked at the ugly looking Banner and Steve, and he knew that these two people had less than a lot more than normal people. And to help Barney they gave money, mainly because yesterday Barney also dedicated his internet time, so by the way, he helped the three of them to give. Anyway, money is just a number for Stark. How? It is worthy of being a rich person, and the idea is different from ours. 30W is lost and lost. Su Yang definitely likes this kind of local tyrant behavior. After Su Yang collected the money, he continued, "It's all the old rules. Automatic face brushing. You guys go and try a new game." Just as everyone put on their helmets and prepared to enter the game, Su Yang suddenly said, "Warm reminder, you must be mentally prepared. The man machine inside is very powerful." Man machine? Banner said suspiciously, "Is it artificial intelligence? How powerful can a game's AI be?" Stark said suspiciously, "Believe it or not, if you don't believe it, you can try it." Su Yang continued, "Anyway, even your Jarvis operation hero should not be able to beat the man machine. Is it so powerful?" Stark entered the game with suspicion, while everyone else gathered behind him and watched, wanting to know the game in advance. Seeing that everyone had been mentally prepared to enter the game in advance, Su Yang also breathed a sigh of relief. He was really afraid that these people would give up League of Legends because they had no game experience. You must know that in the previous world, there were actually many girls who gave up this game because it was too difficult. Although Stark, they are definitely not so fragile, but always beware. After all, the system said to Su Yang at that time that the man machine of this game was revised. Su Yang also tried it himself, and with his skill in being a diamond, he was almost overshadowed on the human machine. Accompanied by a burst of background music that exploded, a CG animation of the landing interface appeared on Stark's computer screen. It's pretty cool. This is everyone's first thought. Even in Marvel's high-tech world, the CG animation made by the system is unique. When the CG animation is over, the main game page appears human machine mode, matching mode, ranking mode. Different battle modes, with different gaming experience. Boss Su Yang, we can only choose the human machine mode, right? Stark looked at the three modes in front of him. Only the human machine mode icon was lit, and the other two were grey, and said, "Of course, good luck." Neil for subscription. Favorite evaluation reward was thank you guys for more free Falu novels. https://discord.com/invite/z89fj6qny. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.